Yes, guys, and welcome back to the Irish Hotspur on this beautiful Monday evening. Fresh off beating them bubble blowers 2-0. Tin Pot Crime Merchants and Tottenham are back inside the top four. Look, I'm not going to sit here and celebrate top four because I want to win the title, but at the end of the day, being inside top four is the next best thing. If that's a crime, sue me. Jacko, how are you today, my man?
Doing pretty well, Dave. It's good to be fresh off a bubble blower derby win, Dave. You know, one that we've even seen ourselves in person. Now we've conducted a watch along at home, and still, the same lesson was taught to the hammer throwers, to the bubble blowers. It feels good to maybe sort of speculate, beyond from here. Like this is sort of a similar time, if I do recall, when Spurs did sort of kind of turn things around. I mean, it was different circumstances. I think we were doing all right, of course, under Antonio Conte last season, but we did go on a bit of a run at around this time period. And we find ourselves again, kind of asking the same question here. It's like, can maybe Spurs use this as a catalyst for something? And so many times when we do that, though, it ends up being the opposite. We just get humbled. We get taught another lesson about why not? Why do you even ask that question in the first place? They don't seem to be able to follow through. And we, of course, have another derby, right around the corner with the likes of Chelsea. And it does maybe ask, some questions of if they maybe get the job done there, can we maybe start to believe? Of course, me, myself, Dave, being, probably president of a happy clapper committee, love to get ahead of myself and love to ask these sort of questions. I mean, they're within me, they're within my head right away. But I don't know, Dave, just looking forward to speaking with some people about the West Ham game. Would love to actually speculate further if we can, if people want to go there with me. I mean, some Emerson appreciation is also probably duly needed at some stage. I've already given mine, on the podcast. So looking for some others, to give theirs. Of course, Højbjerg, proving as well, Dave, that he no longer is the sideways passing merchant that so many claim him to be. The likes of Sonny with a world-class first touch, and coming on in the second half. Maybe that's going to be a debate again. Do you leave Sonny on the bench again against Chelsea, or do you bring him on to start? It's an interesting one there. Richie, were you satisfied? Were you displeased? Good questions to maybe be had, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I'll just flash the topics up here. You got the Spurs takeover stories not going away. Another article out there today by Dan Kilpatrick. If you want to know mine and Jack's thoughts on it, just simply check out the podcast that we uploaded there earlier on. You've also got Emerson Appreciation Day. So if you want to come on and have your say on Emerson, I know Jack will gladly speak for hours on Emerson. Also, something that I brought up, fed up with the excuses at Tottenham. Week's interview during last week, Ben Davies coming out saying the players, sat together and told some home truths in the dressing room. We only ended up seeing that in the All or Nothing documentary under Jose Mourinho. Fed up with it all. Stop blaming everybody else and just look at yourselves. A couple of transfer rumours today. Marco Asensio maybe to Tottenham. Tottenham maybe looking at bringing him in on a free contract. Evan Ferguson, young Irish guy, by the way, decent player, got a huge prospect, huge future in the game. His father was also a professional footballer, if anybody knows him out there, Barry Ferguson. So he'll keep him grounded for sure, linked with him as Harry Kane's long-term replacement. I want predictions off people. I want to know how you think our season's going to end. Will it end inside top four with an FA Cup? How deep will we go in the Champions League? You want to talk a bit about the 2-0 win yesterday over them Barney enthusiasts, wearing, of course, Barney colours. That would be absolutely unbelievable. And like Jack said, should Stun start versus Chelsea? Because a lot of discussions going on around that in on socials and everything else in the community. Is Son better off as an impact sub this season, or does he need to come back in after answering the critics? By the way, I love that he took the responsibility for his form prior to the West Ham game, unlike other people who want to blame, the home fans when they're playing away and stuff like that. So lots of topics for people to discuss this evening. We're going to welcome some people in because always we like to make sure you guys at home are as happy as we are when Tottenham win, but also just making sure you're good in general. So we've got Mick Carmelock. This is good afternoon, Jack and Dave. Come on, you Spurs. Needed that result. We all needed it, man. Absolutely everybody, brother. Dan Davenport says, big up, Dave and Jack. Good to see you in the building, Dan. I hope you're keeping well, my man. Georgie Hell says, big up, lads. Great job on the watch-along yesterday, as usual. Much needed win. Skippy showed right levels yesterday, and it wasn't the first time. Hopefully we have our cutie back, and Emergo shines. Come on, you Spurs. You know what? I was saying to the boys after the watch along yesterday, I think the reason why I enjoyed it so much is because we were winning. So every single one of us were in a good mood, a sort of arrogant mood when it came to West Ham. It was just enjoyable, and it's the joys that winning brings, my man. As for Skippy, big performance yesterday. Did not look out of place whatsoever. Looks like maybe he's starting to recover from that injury. Still have my doubts on him on the ball going forward a little bit. I still think when he gets into that final third, he's not sure what to do with the ball. But hopefully that comes with more games. And look, I'm not even going to get Jack going off on your Emergo comment, because surely people are going to come on and mention him, and then Jack is going to absolutely have his say.
All I know is, George, really appreciate it, my man. All the support you give us on the watch along and all the content you do. He's always in here nice and early, giving a big, nice, long message as well. So I do appreciate that, George. And I bet today, 58 degrees over here in Brooklyn. I imagine someplace in New York, you had a strut in your step, today, George, feeling nice and confident post bubble blower derby win. Big yourself up, Georgie.
Love it. Big up, George, my man. Zoe D says, big up, boys. So happy with the result yesterday. Decent performance too. What did you make of Ryan's comments? Has Dyer been bitching? Come on, you flat cap army. Come on, you Spurs. No. Look, it was Davies that came out and said after the Leicester game, they all told some home truths to each other. I mean, I'm not being funny. If I was Harry Kane in that dressing room and one of them turned around to me and said, you need to be doing this, I would just say, guys, you guys have made excuses time and time and time again. Manager after manager, please don't lecture me. I'm our top scorer this season. I'm banging them in. I'm doing everything I can. But you're doing everything you can to fuck up the goals that I'm scoring by conceding so much. So I just don't like it. It's like, someone like Son comes out, takes responsibilities for his performance. People, Emerson, all the grief he's getting, he had loads of things he could have blamed his bad performances on. He didn't. Son could have blamed his on contest system, could have blamed his on fractured cheekbone. He didn't. They take responsibility for what's going on, whereas others who've been here for 7-8 years make the excuses and feel like they have to sit round in a ring of posy and, tell each other how much they love them, critique them it's just a load of bullshit. I'm fed up with it. Simple. Game football simple. Go out there, try your hardest every single week. Simple game.
Yeah. Big I heard that Declan Rice had a bit of a spat, with Højbjerg, told him that nobody likes him as well.
I like that.
They're just silly comments. And if anything, I feel like Højbjerg probably just laughed it off and maybe just even grew even more powerful, even more confident after all of that. He probably loved what Declan Rice was telling him,
I actually like that, Jack. I don't want opposition players to like our players, because once they start liking them, you've got a problem there. When they don't like them, it's like brilliant. They don't like them because they're mean, they're a shithouse, they're tough to play against, they're just good. So that's what I want. Let's hear more of them. Keep crying, boiling the bag, Rice. We've got Neil Shafton says, it seems like ENIC are looking to maintain a majority ownership in THFC, but also turn over all football-related operations so they can focus on non-football-related projects. Not sure that works. And look, so basically what you're saying is they want to keep the planning permissions and continue with the building work in and around Tottenham, the hotel, the cinema, etc., etc. Keep their hands on that, but they want to hand over all the football inside. I think that's what you're trying to say, Neil. I'm not sure if that's possible, to be honest with you. I don't know the legalities around it. Be interesting to see if it was possible. I'm just not sure how possible. But let me know in the comments. You seem to know quite a bit on it, so let me know, Neil, my man. Sugar Pebbles says, can't be happier for Sonny, Emerson, Davies, and Romero too. And it was damn good to see Lucas after so long, even if it was short. Do you know what? Ben Davies actually had a really good game yesterday. Despite his comments sort of irking me after the game, he had a really good game yesterday. And look, that's another thing, would you use Ben Davies at left wing back going forward? Dyer, I would also put in there, had a good game. He's finally starting to do what I want. So when the ball goes to like Fabianski, like it did yesterday, get someone to press him, make him boot it long, win the header, and go at them again. And we done that all day yesterday, and I want to see more of that. Big up, Sugar Pebbles. Who else have we got? Adrian Schrocker says, good evening all. West Ham lost another cup final. Yeah, they must be sick of it by now, Must be absolutely sick of it. Sorry if you've seen images of Jack running around with a mop bucket yesterday outside the away end trying to collect West Ham tears. It wasn't his intention to upset them, but somehow he did, and I absolutely love it. Ian Cook's in the house says, good evening, everybody, keeping well. We are keeping well, Ian. Nothing better than a win in the Irish Hotspur derby. It's personal to me, and every time we beat them, I absolutely relish it, my man. It's like relish going onto a burger. It's beautiful. Big up Ian Cook. Tequila What 316 is in here. He made a comment where he says, hello, Irish Army. And I thought I said, or Harris Army. I thought I said Harris Animals. I was like, what have you been watching, Tequila? But anyway, you cleared it up. Big up, Tequila. Good to see you in the building, my man. I hope you are keeping well. Hopefully you enjoyed that win yesterday. Carl Higgins says, evening all. I always said Emerson was the bollocks. Do you know, I've been saying this lately. It was crazy. All January, all before that, was like, get Emerson out of my club. You've seen it everywhere. Now, all of a sudden, on match days, people are like, oh, Emerson has to start. Amazing how things can turn around very, very quickly in football. It does go to show, you know, a week is a long time in football. A month is even longer. Eaton Woods, good to see you in the building. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely love that. Big up the bottom. Do a big up, Jack and Dave and everyone in the chat. Great win yesterday. Come on, you Spurs. The bottom do it. Keeps Conte in the job for another week, doesn't it, my man? Big yourself up. Absolute legend. Love you at the bottom. Phil P in the house. Happy Monday. Oh, come on, you Spurs. Big up, Phil P. I hope you're keeping well. Where are you tuning in from, Mr. Phil P? Let us know. We've got Georgie in the building, new YouTube member.
Grab that fan show membership. Big yourself up, George. And as well, anybody else that wants to grab the fan show membership like George has, there is, I think, a little join link next to the subscribe button. I'm assuming a lot of you have already subscribed, but if you haven't, please do. But there is a join link right next to it, and I can put the link in there for anybody else that wants it to come on and have their say. But George has gotten ahead of the queue, and he's grabbed that link, and he's become a fan show member. Big yourself up, Georgie.
Love it, Georgie. And if you do want to come on and have your say, my man, please, I'd be honored. I'd love to get, the aim is to get as many Spurs fans on out of their comfort zone as much as possible, get them on, start talking about this great club of ours. So if you want to come on, go to the community section. You'll see the link posted there. Click on it, get in here and have your say. And to everybody else out there, it would be absolutely unbelievable if you could all grab a membership. It starts at $1.99 a month, because the whole idea is to have everybody having a membership, because it helps us out greatly. And it also, you know, brings you loads of fan shows every single month and everything else. And it's just a massive help out around the place for as little as $1.99 a month. What an absolute bargain. Big up, Tyler. Also grabbed a membership. Good to see you.
Upgrade to that fan show membership. Big yourself up, Tyler. Hope to speak to you later, my friend. Hope to speak to you later. Big yourself up, Tyler.
Phil P forgot his customary. Whoa! Big up, my man. Another guy I have not seen in some time. Kenneth, Tottenham Hotspur. How are you keeping, sir? Hopefully you're enjoying, enjoy the win. Though maybe over the last while it hasn't been so enjoyable. But that's why I encourage everyone to enjoy the win this week. No game for a week. Tottenham can't ruin it. So enjoy them, because they've been hard to come by over recent times. But my man, you know, I hope you are keeping well. It's been a long time. Where have you been hiding? What have you been up to? Let us know what's going on in the life of Kenneth. Since you always used to mention the bricklayers to me, I've been there a number of times since, by the way. Great spot, my man. But I do hope you're keeping well, Jack.
I did see him poking around once or twice, Kenneth, unless I'm, you know, maybe mistaking you for someone else. Kenneth, I swear, you were in the chat maybe a while ago. Not, you know, like just the other day, but it felt like maybe a week or two ago you might have been in there and you poked your head in there. So, Kenneth, you know, I felt like I caught you one of these days. You know, where's Kenneth? You know, where's Waldo? I caught you one of those times, Kenneth. Pick yourself up, my friend.
Big up, Kenneth. Absolute legend. I really appreciate the support, brother. But do honestly, let me know how you're keeping and what you've been up to, brother. Graham, good to see you in the building. I think you were at the game yesterday. Hopefully you enjoyed the win for once, my man. Good to see you. Graham. Same as Rowan Coomer. Big up, boys, guys. Big up, my Norwegians in here. Big up, Rowan. I hope you're keeping well, brother. We've got Dermatron in here as well. Good to see you. He says, big up everyone in the chat. What a pass from Hoiberg. Glenn Hoddle would be proud of that one. I mean, I'm sure he woke up this morning to lots of offers to be on adverts for 2020 vision. I mean, that was like X-ray vision, you know, just to see that and then execute it to, I mean, perfection. It's
surgeon.
Unbelievable. Yeah, Hoiberg the surgeon is what we should call him now. I mean, that was unbelievable. Ian Seinfeld says, keep up the good work, Dave and Jack. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, my man. I really appreciate that. We're just out here, talking about Tottenham, enjoying it, but also trying our hardest. I'm glad you appreciate it, my man. Catman Jess, how are you? Good to see you in the building. Let me know how you are as well, my man. We've also got Kenneth in again. He says, I bought my Peaky Blinder cap because of you guys. My first, honestly, what I didn't tell you is you need to get a cattle prod or something like that to keep all the women away from you, Kenneth. They're all going to be all over you now. I bet when you're walking down the street, you're just hearing wolf whistles, and you're absolutely loving it. Honestly, it's brilliant, my man. Big up, Kenneth. Hopefully you're enjoying all the perks that come with the flat cap. It makes you feel powerful, man. Doesn't it, Jack?
I love that, Dave. Absolutely right, Kenneth. You just have to be ready for the autographs. You have to be ready for, all the attention, that comes with the flat cap, Kenneth, because, even when you're looking your worst, even when you're not even feeling your best, you could walk into any room and people just feel like, you might look like you know what you're doing. You look like you're the guy to go to for directions. You're the guy to go to for any advice, type of thing. It's just what comes with the flat cap. And Kenneth, I think you bear that responsibility well. Big yourself up, my man. And also, I mean, you're quite well known around the bricklayers, so probably might as well get that flat cap so you can, maybe be under the radar, but also in case people need to, be set by your standards, go by your example, wear the flat cap as well.
If he rocks up in a flat cap, there'll probably be a red carpet entrance for him. Big up, Kenneth, my man. I hope you're keeping well. Kev Williams says, good evening, Dave and Jack. Good evening, flat cap army. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Kev. Good beat yesterday, my man. Mary W says, hi, guys. Great result. Keep it going. Look, we just need the consistency from the boys out on the pitch now. Hopefully, we can start finding a bit of form at the right time. That would be unbelievable, Mary. Simon Cole, good to see you. He says, best double at goal. Big up, Simon, my man. I really appreciate you. You're too kind. When are you going to come on and revisit us for another talk, my man? Be a pleasure to have you and have a conversation. Let me know if you went to the game yesterday. It'd be nice for you to be able to go to a win after watching that game against Leicester, my man. We got Peter Simmons. Good to see you. Liverpool are favourites for 4th with the bookies. We need to get consistent. Yeah, they're 7 points behind us, 2 games in hand. It's doable, but hopefully they don't find any consistency. Hopefully we do, my man. Paddy Higgins, good to see you in the building. I hope you're keeping well.
Also, Dave, Paddy Higgins. Celebrating 9 months, Paddy Higgins is as a flat cap member. Wow. And he says, best value for the money membership ever. Flat cap army, hashtag flat cap army. Big yourself up. Paddy, 9 months as a member. Big yourself up, my friend.
Also, Paddy, when you going to get on and have a conversation, my man? 9 months. Probably been watching the channel longer than that as well, brother. When you going to get on?
Longer than me. He might have been around longer than I have. Paddy probably has. Big yourself up, my friend.
Big up, Paddy. Absolute legend. Who else have we got here? Make sure we're not missing anybody. We've got Wade Curtis. Come on, he's having it. Big up, my man. Derek Hutchinson, always in here. Big up, Derek. Hope you're keeping well. Derek, I meant to ask you this last day. I'm confused. Are you living in the UK or are you living in Ireland? I can't remember, my man. But do let me know. I'm just curious. Big up, Chris, as well. Good to see him in the house. Chris, I heard he absolutely relished Winks' words during the week. Heard he was all
and he said the Emerson apology as well, Dave, is supposed to be in the mail, sometime soon as well. He mailed it, yesterday as well, Emerson apology form. Chris is a good man. He sends in the apology forms right away.
Love it. Love it. Just Ben says, does anyone know when Hugo will be back? Was it 8 weeks, his injury?
I thought it was similar to Basuma, 6 to 8 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, I thought it was. Thought it was. There you are, just Ben. Probably about another month, I would say, brother. Phil P says, Dave, sometimes you have to have a proper rant and scream at those not pulling their weight, but love your point of view, brother. Yeah, look, I get it. I know. I just, where I'm coming from, though. Look, I don't even need to explain it to you, Phil. I know you know about, these excuses that exist, but I do understand, my man. Big yourself up, brother. Nomad said, let's celebrate this win. Absolutely. Come on. We've got Ken T. I don't want to sound negative about Emerson, but I think our fans are getting carried away. Look, understand it, but I would also say fans got carried away the other way as well, if we're being brutally honest about, the over-criticism of Emerson and stuff like that. I think it works both ways, if you want me to be brutally honest. But where we're at now, Ken T, he's performing. It's good for Tottenham. Yeah. Long may it continue. That's where I'm at. Big up, my man.
Well said. Big up, Ken.
Got Phil Baby says, evening, Dave and Jack and chat, still buzzing like a wasp on it. I mean, that's an analogy. Big up, Phil. Don't know what that's like, to be honest, but it sounds good.
I mean, you could be feeling any type of way post bubble blow or Darby defeat, Dave. You could be totally on, absolutely on a high. Pick yourself up, Phil.
I love it, love it. We've got a few more comments to get through, and then we'll start getting on the guest club. Murphy says, big up you Spurs. Let's continue to do this. Look, we've got it. Football's all about hope. We've got to keep believing and hoping, my man. Gwen Evans says, good evening, lads. Good evening, Gwen. Good to see you in the building. Hopefully you're keeping well. It's a very Welsh name, so let me know if you're from Wales and are you living in Wales, and if so, whereabouts. We've got Philly 2109. Says, big up Dave and Jack. Big up Graham. I need more quality content that is fair and unbiased. Look, sometimes our content can be biased because it's coming from your personal opinion. So it's coming from the person that's created it. Look, we do try to take in all sides of the argument and then sort of give our opinion off the back of that. But I know you're not calling us biased and stuff like that. So big up, Philly, my man.
I love Philly, man. More Crooklyn Jack is here. Crooklyn Jack is here. Big yourself up, Phil. Love you, man. Love you, man.
Legend. We've got Lisa says, big up, boys and chat. Still on a high from the game. Streams are so much sweeter when we win. So much easier and enjoyable to do as well. I must say, to be honest with you, Lisa, I don't really like Jack knows me. I'm a sort of throw my toys out of the pram supporter. If we lose, it's like, I really don't want to do this, Jack. And he's like, yeah, but you don't have the choice. You have to do it. It's like, yeah, I know. But I really don't want to do it. So when we're winning, it's good. It's good.
I know Lisa as well, Dave. She listens to a lot of the streams as well. I think while she's driving, while she's doing stuff, in the car. And, when you're kind of, out and about doing stuff, you want to be able to be on a high. You want to be, feeling good about the club. You don't want to be, driving, doing errands or whatever you are doing about your day. And it's, not good news about Spurs. And so I know where Lisa is coming from. Big yourself
Love
up.
That. Big up, Lisa. We've got Davies says, hello, guys. Big up, my man. I hope you're keeping well. Good to see you in the house. Neil Shafton says, I'm wearing the Versace Italy home kit today. When is PSG going to leave a Louis Vuitton? Absolutely love that. Big up, my man. Who else we got? Slim by Tubbs, the oxymoron. Says, evening all, great work as always, lads. Love bursting bubbles. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely love that. We all enjoy bursting their bubble, my man. There's nothing worse than seeing a rival smiling and laughing and joking. The fact that it's us, I'm loving it, Doesn't go any way to repairing the 2 North London Derby defeats and how low I felt after them, but it goes some way, my man. Mark Saunders says, was lucky enough to get a ticket for yesterday. Concourse after the match was buzzing. I'll be honest, I was so jealous, man. I got so many videos of people. Look at this, Dave. I'm like, it just brings back sweet, sweet memories of last year when myself and Jack were there with Ellie, of course. Had a great day out, scored some goals, and after it was just from top to bottom because we were up near the top. So getting from near the top all the way to the bottom of that south stand, all you could hear is West Ham get battered everywhere they go. It was absolutely insane. But yesterday, fans decided they'd ramp it up. They brought some flares in. I mean, I just wanted to jump in the middle of it and go crazy. Unbelievable, Mark. Big yourself up, and hopefully you enjoyed that game. We've got Brian Dempsey in here as well, and we've got 1 or 2 more, and then I'm going to crack on. Brian Dempsey said, good evening, boys. Hope you're both keeping well. Have you heard any rumours linking us with big Rudiger? Could be a shrewd signing. Come on, you Spurs. Look, I like Rudiger at Chelsea. I'm not going to lie. I did like him at Chelsea. I'm just not sure what his availability would be after moving to Madrid last season. I don't think we'd spend that sort of outlay on him either, my man, to be honest with you, Jack.
Yeah, I feel like, with Rudiger, I'm a big fan of his. He has, probably, he probably teaches classes on housery. He probably teaches classes on, being a complete shithouse. But I would say, it feels like maybe he's made his move to Madrid. I just don't see him maybe coming back to the Premier League. Probably now too late.
Absolutely. Big up, Brian Dempsey. Good to see you in the building, my man. You're living in America, right? I believe. Isn't he living in America, Jack? I think he is. Could be wrong.
Might be. Big yourself up, Brian. Let us know, brother.
Yeah, let us know, my man. We've also got Rum Scully. Love the name, actually. Kind of flows off the tongue nice. He says, big up, Dave and Jack. I'd swap Davies left wing back. Don't want to see Perisic no more. Plus, son is shit with Perisic. Interesting take, my man.
Yeah, I put that also in the title, Dave. I said, maybe keep Ben Davies at left wing back is also another topic to talk about, because we all know Sessegnon's been dreadful and Perisic starting to kind of fall off maybe fall off form a little bit.
Big up Rum Scully. Absolutely love the name. And Legend27 says, playing better football now. Conte ain't in charge. Come on, my man. Even the reports today, Sleely, after press conference, he said it had Conte written all over it. Tactics, team selection, etc., etc. I don't know. But big up. Oh, Belfast. Yes, I'm sorry. You only told me last week, my man. Belfast. My mom actually wants to go up there. Her father was from there, and she wants to sort of go up and visit where he's from and stuff like that. Let me know if the Titanic Museum and, going around watching all the wall art and all, is it any good, my man? Big yourself up. Kenneth Tottenham Hotspur is also a new YouTube member. Brother, if you're a fan show member,
welcome to the Flat Cap Army. Kenneth, he's even wearing the flat cap right now, and then he's just decided to make it even more official. It already was official with you, Kenneth, but he's made it even more. He doubled down. Pick yourself up.
Love that. He's doubling down. And he also says, had a big dinner show with Paul Gascoigne in Pattaya. Funniest ever. Pattaya, where's that, Jack? Cyprus restaurant?
I have no idea where. I'll look it up right now, Kenneth. But I mean, Dave, he had a dinner with Gaza. I mean, what did he have for an entree? Was he eating a lot? Did he, kind of, break bread with you? Was he, just kind of there for a little bit? Was he just there for cocktails? I mean, let me know, my friend. Let me know. I mean, jeez, Dave. I'm looking it up right now. I'm going to be shaking while he said a city in Thailand. I mean, that sounds, very fun. Were these perhaps, a dinner by the poolside, while you're overlooking, a nice Thailand sunset, something like that? Kenneth, honestly, gorgeous.
I'm jealous. I mean, I fanboy Harry
Something
Kane.
I know for a fact, Kenneth, I will never be able to do that in my life. So that sounds incredible.
I'm quite jealous, Jack. I mean, you fanboy Emerson, I fanboy Harry Kane. We haven't been invited for dinner with them yet. Let us know how it went down. Let us know what the topic of conversation was.
I'd have dinner with them at Chick King, Dave. I mean, let alone, over a nice sunset, in Thailand. I mean, that sounds ridiculous. I mean, lovely. Kenneth. My man.
Love it. Killian Goodwin sneaking in there as well. Good to see you, my man. Hope you're keeping well, brother. Chris says, Jack, my Emerson apology is now valid. That it is, Chris. I think you need to come on and give it, though. I think that's what will suffice. If you come on, just literally 2 seconds, just go, I apologize to Emerson. That's all we need, Chris. But big up, brother. Hope you're keeping well.
Love you, Chris.
Arbitron with the super sticker, Jacko.
He's still pointing up to the sky, Dave. I think he's still popping the bubbles from yesterday, Dave. It makes sense. They leave a lot of bubble residue, so he's just still popping them.
Love that. He's sitting at home right now with his toothpicks, getting his missus to blow bubbles so he can pop them. Absolutely love that. Big up, Dermo. Phil P also says, my son reckons we're on a Royale redemption arc. Look, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if we could sort of go on a bit of a run now, Royale can keep his form. Does your son go to games with you, Phil, my man? Let me know. I remember I had great memories when my own lad used to bring me to the lane. Great memories, very fun memories, my man. And I'm sure, if you get to go with your son, he'll definitely appreciate it as well. But Jack, he's on a Royale redemption arc.
Royale redemption arc. It comes at certain times, Phil, when you least expect it. I felt like I had one quite early. Some people had one after the Liverpool game, I think, from last season when we were challenging for top 4. It just, comes with, the Royale, kind of a story. I think if anything, even the haters will recognize like it is, some feat for him to somehow emerge from the ashes, of people doubting him, from the ashes of the hatred. He has emerged as a new version of Emerson Royale that everybody seems to be loving. And even Dave mentioned this a while ago, Phil, like just 2 weeks ago, like people, were slating him left and right. And now all of a sudden people are like, he's got to start ahead of Pedro Porro. Like, it's amazing how much someone can change, their outlook, how much someone can change their reputation. What a man. Big yourself up, Phil P.
Big up, Phil. He also said it was a bit heavy in the pub after he's paying for it today. Hopefully you're recovering, son. Ooh. Hopefully you're recovering. Hope you didn't go too hard, my man. Big up also to Washgal sneaking in there. Duncan's talk as well.
Big up, Washgal.
Davo as well. Good to see you all in there. Also Jeff Ives as well. Good to see you all in here, guys. And then we've got this from Kenneth. And then we're going to start cracking on with some guests. He says, the day I see you, Harrison Jack, in London, going to be a day to remember. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm wild, I'm good fun, but I do like meeting people. I do like meeting Spurs fans, talking to the fan base. It's something I didn't have growing up, so get to listen to all Spurs fans, people telling me maybe stories from before my time and all. I absolutely relish it and enjoy it. Look, I've met quite a few people that follow the channel, and I don't think any of them would say I'm wild or great crack. But I definitely like meeting the people and trying to have a laugh and talk Tottenham for sure. So, Kenneth, I don't drink, but I would like to buy you a cold one if we ever get to see you over there, my man.
Good man, Kenneth. Really appreciate that. We'll be there very soon. Kenneth. But if we miss you, I'm sure we'll get you another time. Kenneth.
Yeah, if AC Milan game at home, if you're there or if you're going over, let us know. And, we'll definitely sort some arrangements out to see you, brother. But just let us know, man. Big yourself up, brother. Really appreciate the support as well. Everyone, we're going to start cracking on with the guest. All we ask of you guys is to keep smashing that like button, share the stream, maybe smash the subscribe button if you haven't. But also, most importantly, get your comments in, engage with myself, Jack, the guests. Put if you have any questions or anything you want to press one of them on further, feel free to put it in. You can also make it a super chat like Kenneth, Phil, Chris, Dermo. If you want to, I get it. Times are tough out there, so do not feel pressured. It's only there if you like what we do and you can afford to support what we do. But look, that's it. Enough of myself and Jack. Let's start going on with the guests. Let's start hearing what they have to say. Who's first? I think it's Daniel, isn't it?
Daniel, yeah, it's Daniel.
Get him on. Mr. Larson, how do you keep it, son?
Fantastic.
What, look, we'll start with yesterday's game. Good win over the Bubble enthusiasts. Who impressed you?
Emerson, Romero, Davies, especially, and Højbjerg, and Skip. And everyone, to be honest. But those three first was the main. That I just, wow. Especially Davies. Oh my God. Sorry. I remember before the game started, I was like, Davies left wing back? No. And then it's, wow, great game. So
I'll be honest. I was looking at it. I was like, very defensive. I think we're going to have problems, transferring the ball forward. But, I mean, where did that pace come from, Ben Davies? Twice. One in the first half and then one in the second half for the goal. I mean, I've not, even when he was in his prime or younger, I've never seen him sprint that quick.
No, I think it was good morning sex, to be honest. That did it.
A few people seem to have a good Valentine's week. Emerson, of course, announcing, as well, a child, which is, big congratulations to the Emmer goat.
Big
Ben Davies, clearly, maybe like David even said on the watch along. I think, I remember the quote you even said, Dave, like maybe he just had the greatest, what of all time, that week. I feel like as well, Daniel, though, like, it's a good place to start where you brought up, Ben Davies in the left wing back position, because I feel like the right side is starting to look more solid, but the left side has been kind of questionable because we dropped Sonny, for that game. We also as well dropped Perisic for that game. I mean, and we went for Ben Davies and Longley. Is that maybe did that look like a better sort of combination for the time being? Maybe Longley and Ben Davies just playing at the same time?
It did look much better. It did. I mean, it's also because Perisic has been so underwhelming for us. So that could be a huge part. But I don't want to go too ahead of myself because it's only one game. We never know next game. It could be complete horseshit. So.
I mean, you don't need to get ahead of yourself, but at the same time, I remember when, like Sean and the watch along, Dave, like I remember when Perisic did come on, like all of a sudden it felt like West Ham were getting chances, like when Perisic came
That's
on.
true. That is true. I mean, yeah, he got completely torn apart like 2 minutes in when he got on. So that's true.
So against Chelsea, what do you think? Start Ben Davies against Chelsea? What do you think?
Yeah, I would start. I would go with the same lineup.
Okay.
I would.
Oh, he's going with the same lineup. Okay.
Yeah, don't change the winning team.
So you wouldn't maybe bring Son back in because look, Richarlison didn't have the best of games. I understand, despite many people actually giving out he was taken off. I understand why he was taken off because Kulusevski got straight into the game in the second half and was causing problems. Richarlison sort of faded out the game, but then Son comes on, scores his goal. And, part of the reason why is because Harry Kane could get on the ball, get turned in space, and play him in behind. Like, we haven't been able to do that lately. So, why would you keep Richarlison over Son from Chelsea?
I just think, Rich has not been the greatest, but he did get on them, on their faces. Like, he did get a nuisance in the box. But I think I've said this, and I've said this for the longest time, that Son is a super sub now. That's what he is. That's what he needs to be until the end of the season. Because he running a tired leg seems to be the solution for him.
Interesting.
Even though I don't think Richie, like I've said, it doesn't really suit this system, but having him start and then, or even Danjuma, I think is better option for us.
I think I hear what you're saying, because when I look at it, right, you look at Son's goals this season in the Premier League. Leicester, he came on late in the game. There was space for him to play in, scored a hat trick, right? Came off the bench the other day. It was opened up space for us to be able to feed him. He goes and scores a goal. But when he's starting games, because teams have worked out, you stop Harry Kane, you stop Tottenham's creativity. Son's having to drop deep to get on the ball, and it's just not working out. So, I mean, there probably is a good case to say, right now where we're at, bring him off the bench when the game opens up. I personally think it's harsh. I would actually start him against Chelsea, but I do understand your argument. I do.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're here for.
Would you say, though, Daniel, that I felt like Richarlison had different instructions than maybe Sonny does in that left wing position? I felt like Richarlison was less responsible for the hold up play, for kind of, picking up the ball from deep. Felt like Richie had a lot, that instruction a lot of times just to get into the box and be that sort of presence. I don't know if you picked up on a similar thing, but I felt like maybe he was being asked to do something slightly different than Sonny too.
Yeah, I mean, the two complete different players as well, so
that's fair.
One is, so
what did you like about Richie, though? Or did you not like Richie? Were you kind of left a bit maybe underwhelmed?
I'm still underwhelmed, but I like what I saw better now. Like I did see improvements. So that's good, but I still think he's a striker. He's no winger.
Yeah.
So
I'd agree with that. Even if you look yesterday, his best work was done in and around the box. The true balls where he tried to work, deeper. He's not good enough on the ball. I don't think he has the vision. Even yesterday when we didn't have the ball, what I do like about Richarlison is the pressing that he gave us. It sort of made West Ham play a long ball, which I absolutely loved. But look, Daniel, we've got another a lot of talking points here today. Actually, there's a lot more to talk on.
Should we talk about Emerson just quickly, maybe? I mean, Emerson appreciation train. Daniel, last time, do you want to leave yourself a hater station, or would you like to board the train? Sorry, yeah, Moondog is in the house.
Just quickly, I just want to take Moondog's super chat. He says, "Good evening, Dave and Jack." Moondog, good evening, sir. Did you have any other cheeky bets on for the bubble blower game yesterday? I know you said you were going to put on one for Papa Massar. Fortunately, only got a couple of minutes. By the way, look how happy he was taking them minutes as well. I was pleased with that. But let me know if you had any other cheeky bets on Moondog.
Would you find, like, Dave, if you were to find Moondog, like a new betting person, like, he earlier it was always somebody, I mean, let's be honest, it was Moonhead was his go-to. Should he find a new go-to? Would you give him a new go-to?
Harry Kane at the minute.
Big H, Emerson, maybe.
Look, I don't know if Emerson will score or get that much strike against Chelsea because they play with wing backs. Look, I'll wait and see. When I see a good one during the week, Moondog, I'll let you know, brother. I'll let you know a cheeky one to put on. But Daniel, back to you, my man. You've got the Spurs. Sorry, Jack wants to talk on Emerson with you. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, Daniel, unless you would like to go somewhere else, but do you want to talk about Emerson? I mean, it's two man of the matches in a row, it feels like.
Yeah, of course I need to, I've not been I've been his tough critic, of course, I've not been his biggest fan, so I need to have a little apologize. I mean, he looks possessed. He looks so insane. Even like the flicks and the confidence and the finish like a striker, dude. I mean, what the fuck is going on? Is it because Pedro Porro is come in as a challenger for him? Because I've always said that as well. If you bring in good players, that's going to make other players better as well. I've always said that as well.
You know what I was saying earlier on to Jack on the podcast, Daniel, that I actually think it's the fact that his wife is pregnant. He's got a kid on the way. You speak to any parent, it sort of realigns your focus. It gives you new goals to go after once you achieve greater things.
That's a good. 100%. That's a great way of saying it.
I mean, that goal, though, I mean, Antonio Conte probably was, I mean, from, his home in Italy, Daniel, he probably, maybe had to take a moment to himself, maybe go to the restroom, because seeing two fullbacks or two wingbacks combined like that, it's his dream, as everybody's saying.
Yeah, it is his goal, you could say. It's his dream goal. He's probably running a new operation now. Jesus.
I love it. I love it. Daniel, what else do you want to talk about from our list of talking points here? We've got the Spurs takeover stories not going away. Me sort of fed up with the excuses, aka weeks and that during the week. Couple of transfer rumours there either. But also, before we end off, I want you to predict how you think Tottenham season will end.
Well, well, I don't know the season. I don't know. I mean, we're so inconsistent. We could go. Hopefully, this is not a new win-lose situation. Remember,
how do you feel right now with Chelsea? Because it feels like with Chelsea, right? Like, if we win that, like a lot of people will say we could end this season strong. Do you want to think that we could get rid of the Chelsea Hoodoo this weekend, or are you thinking the Chelsea Hoodoo is still going to somehow, overcome us?
Well, if the Chelsea Hoodoo doesn't end, I'd never want to play them again because we're never going to beat them if we don't beat them now. They are horrible. They are dreadful. And we got smashed them. I have no excuses here. They are. Oof. I want to see blue blood on the field.
I think also, I think the confidence boost it can give you, Daniel. Winning two London derbies back to back, it can give you good confidence going into the business end of the season, right?
Of course, especially beating like big rival like Chelsea, which we never beat. That's gonna be huge confidence boost. Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. I really do hope we beat them as well. Hopefully Potter keeps working his magic down there, making them a mid-table club. I'm absolutely enjoying it.
I love it.
But Daniel, anything else you want to maybe talk about or get off your chest before we let you go, brother?
No, I think we have... Romero, I guess we can talk about Romero because, of course, that was the performance that we know that can make him world class. That aggressive, that intelligence, aggressiveness. Aggressive but smartly. If you know what I mean. Like it's just so. I hope he can keep it up.
Oh, you would think that probably half the West Ham team maybe had nightmares of him after that.
Yeah,
they probably kept looking behind them, thinking Romero was coming, after that night.
Yeah, 100%.
I really like Romero's performance. I think he was strong in the area yesterday. Good at his tackles, didn't really miss time any. But also, he wanted to get involved in the play going forward, and I absolutely love that about Romero. But I was saying to Jack, I love the that right hand side. Right, it's real aggressive. It loves defending. Like in order to be a good defender, right, you have to be a psycho. You gotta enjoy being hit with the ball. You gotta enjoy smashing people. You do. You gotta enjoy it, right? You gotta enjoy winning them headers. And Romero and Emerson really enjoy defending, and it's so aggressive that teams don't really have too much joy down that side. But we need to translate that right across that back line. Get more like a Højbjerg, like Rice coming out saying no one likes Højbjerg. Brilliant. We need more of that at Tottenham Hotspur. I absolutely love it. Love it.
I'm going to end it on, of course, with Højbjerg, of course, my guy, my man. Of course, everyone who wants to, again, with the he can't pass, I need you to look at that pass. You need to have that on when you go to bed. You have to have that on repeat, just so you imprint it in your mind that.
I agree, Daniel.
What a pass. And also that he made Declan Rice his bitch. He's gonna have some rice he probably has some rice for dinner.
If I was Højbjerg, I'd be on there singing that song, Rice, Rice, Baby. I'd absolutely be trolling him if I was in Dean Salzburg right now. Absolutely murdering him on Instagram. Who do you think you are coming out saying people don't like me?
With the surgeon pass, Daniel.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable vision, to spot Ben Davies run through the body, his way to pass out, perfect. Brilliant.
Perfect. Yeah, complete perfect. I mean,
it is a great touch though from Ben Davies, and then a great pass from Emerson too. It is just a fabulous goal. It is actually, if you want to be honest, maybe one of our better goals of the season. I mean, I know we haven't had fantastic candidates, but one of our better goals of the season, if you ask me.
Definitely.
For sure.
Well, Daniel, great call, my friend. Thanks for getting us started, buddy.
No problem. The first time I think I've started, so that's great.
I was gonna say maybe.
Yeah.
Well done.
Put the mood in.
First time for everything, Daniel. First time for everything, my man. Really appreciate
that's true.
your time, brother.
Well done.
No problem.
All right,
guys.
See you soon. See you soon, then.
Come on, you Spurs.
Give me a Heiberg salute on your way out. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Love
Good
that.
Man.
See you
See
again
you, Daniel.
Big up, my man. Big up. Absolutely love that. Love that. Mia, you're next if you're listening. Oh, she's there. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay, Grad. I just said, it's Ellie that's left. Ellie, get back in here, my dear. A few super chats to get to, and then we'll crack on with Mia. Moondog says, my bet was as good as yours, Dave. Yeah, I went tried to beat the bookies. You know, it was what, 21 games without a draw at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I think it's like 30 odd years since both teams have drawn both games in the season. Tried to beat the bookies. It didn't work out. Moondog, just like yours, my man. Like you said, it worked out just as well as each other, brother. Oh, I love it. Love it. Jerome says, first game start for Richie. Just give him time to get back on track. Also, I would say give Kane a rest. And let's try Richie as a striker. Do you know what, Jerome? I think, you know, after the Chelsea game, you've got Sheffield United midweek. I think that's perfect time. Rest Kane, put him on the bench. If you need him, bring him off. But give Richarlison that start up front. Surely he's good enough to play up front against Sheffield United. Look, for me, I'm not really going to judge Richarlison until I see him up front because he's not a winger. He's just not good enough to play a winger. So I find it hard to judge him. But, you know, sometimes at a club like Tottenham, you've got to pave your way, maybe play it out.
If he wants more playing time.
Yeah, and, you know, at the end of the day, if you want playing time, you've got to take what minutes are given to you. And the minutes that he's been received this season, I would argue he hasn't really took.
Yeah, and for me too, Jerome, I think he's actually had opportunities to be getting more minutes. It's just those opportunities, he's been either injured. It's just been he's been injured, and he for plenty of opportunities to get minutes, plenty of opportunities to maybe get starts and whatnot. And even when Sonny was really struggling, and I know a lot of people asked for Sonny to be dropped previously, but a lot of times when Sonny was struggling, the only other person that could have come in for him was like Brian Hill. And I know we all are very Hill messy over here, but let's be honest, like that did, you know, maybe be it was a more of a stretch, you know, to ask Sonny to be dropped in that sort of case. So it does sort of feel like maybe Richie, it's a combination of Richie not really being a winger, but also being injured for a huge portion of the season and him not getting his chances that way. But I absolutely start him for 90 minutes. I hope Kane doesn't play at all, honestly, against Sheffield. I hope he doesn't have to play at all.
That'd be ideal. It'd be ideal to give him that rest. Big up Jerome, my man. Really appreciate the support. But I'm like you, man. I do think Richie needs to be playing up front, you know. Big up Ricky Nato as well. And also Scooter Reacts and Shamu all coming in there as well. Good to see you in the building. Kenneth Tottenham Hotspur says, here's a beer to Jeff Ives. Big up, Jeff, my man. If you're at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, we'll definitely use that to get you a beer, my man. Big up. And he also says, Coca-Cola for David, big beer for Jacko. Yeah, that's the way it's good. That's the way it is, my man. It's like Jack sitting with a child in the pub, you know. Coca-Cola with ice on a slice, and it's got to be lemon. It just makes it taste a bit better, in my opinion. Jack, what's your choice of beer that you're going to get here from Kenneth?
I think Kenneth is saying they have a mutual friend, maybe him and Jeff Ives do. They maybe have a mutual friend. So Kenneth and him are kind of cheersing over that, you know, and he's saying small world over him and, you know, and Jeff. So it's nice to see, actually. You know, he says, I watch Nick Dean's coverage of NDTVI. There's always sporting celebs around a Pattaya. See Teddy. Honestly, Dave, they're in their own world right now, him and Jeff Ives. Cheers to you guys. You know, I love the vibes between you two. For me, Kenneth, it depends. You know, if it's the first one of the day, I'd probably start myself off with, you know, a nice, you know, cold IPA, like I know Allison would, like I know Welsh Gal would. So I'll start with the IPA and then maybe from there move on to something a little lighter, you know, the lagers and the pilsners and all that stuff. Big yourself up.
Love it. Big up, Kenneth. Might be enough for a half bag of chips out of the change. We'll wait and see, Kenneth. Faz Radfar says a fit Romero and Kane is a must if we want to do well. Absolutely spot on. You know, absolutely crucial. We've seen the problem with not having a Romero. I'd even go as far as saying Emerson against Leicester City. No one was tackling, balls flying into the box, people being skinned left, right, and centre. You got Romero in there. It just doesn't happen like that. I also think he gives Dyer a bit of confidence as well. And Kane, look, I mean, he's our top goal scorer. He's our chief creator. Seen it in the first half yesterday. If you can nullify Kane, you nullify Tottenham. Same as this Milan game. Same as the Leicester game. You know, so Kane is absolutely crucial. And I don't want to hear anybody tell me any different either, because if you do tell me different, I don't want to hear you moan about this, the lack of creativity then in that case. But Faz, you're absolutely spot on, brother. Absolutely spot on. Look, let's keep this rocking. Let's keep it moving.
Just quickly, Dave, I do have 2 members super chats to get to.
Okay,
Dan Coy's member for 12 months. Dan, as a fan show member as well. Dan, come on and have your say, my friend. He says, we've had the win-loss run, the big win against Man City, then lose the next 2 games in the next 2 seasons. Please, Spurs, let us set a new run to finish top 4 and a cup. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Harris Army. I'm with you, Dan. Like, it's tiresome. It's, and it's hard to trust, Tottenham Hotspur in these moments. It's hard to trust us going on a run, because it always feels like it's met with some sort of, very embarrassing, humbling loss, right around the corner. I totally see where you're coming from. And this season has very much been that way. It's hard to know when we really are seeing the real version of ourselves, or even the best version of ourselves, let's say. So, Dan, I see where you're coming from. Chelsea, I'll be honest, the team that even when they're at their very worst, even when they're least confident, they always seem to just turn up against Tottenham. So I don't even care how bad they are. I think it's a huge, huge test for us, just because the Hoodoo with them has always been so mighty. And even like I said, when they're playing at their worst, they seem to always turn up against us. So that could be the big test to, maybe disprove that win-loss thing you're talking about. Big yourself up, Dan.
Big up, Dan, my man.
And then also Jerome, Dave, threw in one as well. And, it's pretty simple here, Dave. He's been a member for 5 months, and this is all he wants to say. West Ham, get battered everywhere they go. West Ham, get battered everywhere they go.
Everywhere they go. Tin Pot Cry Merchants. Love it. Big up, Jerome. Absolutely love that. Stop it. You're going to get me going again. I'm already voice enough or hoarse enough. Everyone's telling me I sound like the Irish Sean Dyche. Don't know whether to take it as a compliment or not, to be honest with you. But, hey, but big up, Faz.
And
big
then
up,
also John Stokes saying we somehow missed the fan show one yesterday, 12 months as well. John, honestly, it's on us. We probably don't do it as good as we normally do. But John, feel free to put something in there, and we would love to talk about it. But honestly, John, that's on us, my friend, and really do appreciate you as well, because you've been a very good friend to us. And I know you've always been in here supporting us for a very long time. So, John, you deserve better. Pick yourself up.
John, apologize, my man. Please put it in the chat here now. We'll bring it up and discuss it. And congratulations on the 1-year membership. It's been an absolute privilege. Constantly in the group chat, you constantly crack me up and brighten up my day as well, my man. So big yourself up, brother. Sorry we missed it, but please put it in the comments so we can bring it up and have a discussion on it, John. Thank you very much as well for having a membership that long as well. It's unbelievable service to the Irish Hotspur Army. And also, big up to you, Isaac. Good to see you in the building there as well, sir. But look, let's keep this moving. We've got Natasha Davies as well. Quickly says, yeah, it's a huge test. I would be happy with a draw. Can't lie. I mean, look, I just don't want to get bet by Chelsea. If you want me to be brutally honest, I'd take a draw now. But for top 4 hopes, we really do need to be beating them, especially at home. And, it's the task and it's the job we've given ourselves to do. Because of other results. But big up, Natasha. Good to see you in the building. And big up, not big up, Leon. He's an Arsenal fan. Screw you, Leon. But look, let's keep moving. We've got Mia in the building. Let's get her on. Mia, how are you keeping?
Hello. I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Yeah, I'm buzzing. Buzzing after yesterday's win, right?
Same. I've been loving seeing the compilation. I'll start off where Daniel left with Romero. There was that video of his tackle that he put in. Some of those tackles were absolutely immense. Honestly, I was getting myself very excited by Romero yesterday. He was brilliant. He was so good. He was spot on pretty much with everything that he'd done. I absolutely loved it. I love his ferociousness. I love that he's vicious. I love that he's a bit of a bad boy. You can't go wrong with a bit of a bad boy. And he's definitely one of those, 100%.
No, you certainly cannot, Mia. Can I ask you the question even, because Romero's had some kind of interesting debate, right? Where recently he's been getting caught out for some early yellow cards and is seeming getting targeted by referees. I think even Ali Gold spoke about him saying like he's got to kind of tone it down. He's got to, find his moments when to show that sort of aggression. But then like when you're saying that, it's like he also then puts in, performance like he does against West Ham, where he threw smash left, smash right. He was smashing everybody. And it's hard to know, like,
when you use the word smash, Jack, what have I told you about using Romero and smash in the same sentence?
It's too similar, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's like he was an absolute animal the other night. So how do you try to find the balance? It feels like there is no balance. You just get what you get with Romero.
Yeah, it's a bit like that with him, isn't it? He's a bit unpredictable. That's what I'm saying. He's a bit wild, isn't he? Know that song, Born to be Wild? That's definitely Romero's song, isn't it?
I've got a song for you and Romero, Mia. Romero's on his way to Wembley. Mia's knees are trembling.
Well, if I got up close to him, I'm sure I would be very trembling. I'd go very fangirl on him. I think I'd be like, oh, we had to talk to him because I'd be like, oh, he's so lovely.
I just love the commitment to his game, though, Mia. How aggressive he is. The fact that he wants to win every ball. He loves defending. But he's also good on the ball. He wants to play as well. I just love the commitment he shows in a jersey,
Yeah, no, me too. That's what you want from your players. You want them to give 100%. And okay, I know he has to tone it down a little bit sometimes and has to know when to make those tackles. But part of me just loves it. Like what he did to Haaland I loved it. I know he got booked for it, but I kind of liked it. I didn't care. I was a bit like, yes, because that's what players need to know. They need to know you're going to be aggressive. They need to know that they're not going to just get away with it. You're not going to back off of them. No, do a die and just back the hell off of them. No, Romero will not back off, and I like it. I think that's how it should be when you're a defender.
Anyone else you were impressed with yesterday?
Actually, I was quite impressed with Ben Davies. I have to be honest. I do. Yeah. I think in that position, I think he did really well because he can go and he run back and help with defensive as well, the defensive side. I think he actually did really, really well. I was really impressed with him. I think a lot of us had our doubts when that came out, that starting lineup on how it would look, but I was one of those who said, let's see what happens with it. And I was really impressed with Ben Davies. I thought that he was actually really, really good. I've got to be honest. And even Sonny coming off the bench, I thought he was really good. But they had tired legs and was already 1-0. So I think that bringing him on as a super sub will only work in certain games. I think when it's a game where we need to break a team down and they're tired, I think that's the time to make Son a super sub. I think that's them sort of games are the super sub games for me because they've got tired legs and they're probably not going to defend as well, or they're going to make little mistakes even if they have been putting up that defence really well. So I think that sometimes Sonny can be used as a super sub, but other times I don't think that he should be, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you not think that's maybe a bit harsh on Son though, because it's not a conversation we would have had this time last year?
I know, but if a player isn't playing very well in what he's supposed to be doing, then you do need to change it. But like I said, I wouldn't use him as a super sub all the time. I think that maybe just some of the time. For me, that's how it should be. Some of the time players can get dropped, there's no player that's undroppable. So Sonny isn't any different. And I think that changing it up sometimes is also good. We can change it up. We've got the ability. Now we've got Danjuma. We can change it, and we've got Rich who can play there but isn't the greatest there, but he can play there also. So for the front three, we can switch it up. So why not?
It worked on me yesterday. In your opinion, Richarlison bringing him in for Son, did it work?
I think that Richarlison's end product isn't great, but I think that's not his best position. But I do think he made a pest of himself. He did do what I think he's aggressive. Again, he's aggressive, and that's kind of good sometimes. You need that bit of aggression, especially when it's a team like West Ham. I think you need that extra bit of aggression. So, yeah, it kind of worked, and it obviously didn't end up with him scoring or assisting or, maybe the end product, like I say. But I think he did a job, if that makes sense. I think all of the team, was just said in that comment, I think it was a really good team performance. And I think you've got to include Richie in that too. I do think Richie's included in that. And can I just quickly say that about what happened with Son is disgusting. Anybody who's posting them kind of comments to anybody is just disgusting. And people, if anyone sees it, you need to report it. You need to pull them up on it. Doesn't matter if they're your friend, they're your auntie, they're your uncle. It does not matter when you're at the games, because if they think it's acceptable, then they're going to keep pushing their luck, and then they do it in other places like online where they think it is just acceptable to do so, and it's disgusting. And I hope that they get a ban. But we need more stricter things with like Twitter to have your ID, because if you're ID'd, then they can trace who you are and they can make sure that you get the consequences that you should for that kind of behaviour. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's horrible. I just don't understand why people need to need to stoop that low or resort to that. I'll never understand it, to be honest with you. I do want to get back to Richarlison just all quickly. One maybe last question on Richarlison for you. What do we do with someone like Richarlison then? Because he's not good enough out on the wings, right? We've seen that this season.
Yeah.
When he's played there, he's been very underwhelming. But he's got Harry Kane in front of him. So how does Richarlison find a way into this team?
So I think there's two ways of doing it. I think we can either play him, like you say, in the games that he's needed to, like rest Kane. That's definitely something we can do. But also my thing would be to put Kane as the creator and put Richie up front. We could play both of them. I think that's actually, because Kane is a bit more of a creator at the moment. I think that if you put him behind Richie, then that gives Richie the freedom up front, and they could always swap. So Kane could run on and Richarlison stay back. So I think that that's a good way of being able to play both of them. Why not? It's something different, and I know that probably Conte won't listen to what I say because I'm just some random fan, but to me that would be the best way to play Richie in his strongest position and not necessarily have to not play Kane. But we can play Richie when we want to rest Kane as well, so I think we can do both. I think there's definitely two possibilities, I think, of how to play Richie in his preferred position.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm with that.
Jack, any questions you have for Mia then on anything?
So Mia, maybe just one last one, just because I know I heard you mention it, just to get a confirmed answer from you, because I'd love to, put you to a confirmed answer, Mia, so I can hold you to it later. Ben Davies, would you go for him at left wing back against Chelsea? Would you basically commit to the same lineup? What lineup changes would you make?
I think I probably would play Sonny for Chelsea, because I think, like I say, I think that super subs only work with certain games. Chelsea play a different kind of game. I would actually play Ben Davies, because I do think Perisic is getting too old for that position. I think him going up and down, it's just too much for him. I think he's better further forward on the pitch, because when he doesn't have to go up, do so much running, because I don't think he's very, it's not good for him now, because he's, like I say, he's getting a bit older and it is difficult. So I actually probably would try Ben Davies again in that position, because I think defensively he was very good. So I think we need someone probably more defensively, because they have got those very quick players, Chelsea. I think no one should underestimate Chelsea because they're having a bad patch, because they always turn up for us. Just like what West Ham do, Chelsea always turn up for us. They do love a game against us. So I feel like we need to really be on our 100%. We have to put in for this game, and we have to be really aware defensively. So I would definitely play Ben Davies, and I'll play Royale as well. I wouldn't change that, because I think, again, defensively, we need to be really strong defensively against Chelsea. I know that everyone's going to say we need to be on the front foot, but Chelsea do play a different kind of way to West Ham. So I think we need to just be aware of that and not take it too lightly that we're at home and, we should be playing this way or whatever way. I think it is, we have to be aware with Chelsea.
And maybe to get another answer off you as well, we spoke about Son and Richarlison. You spoke about Son being an impact sub sometimes and sometimes starting. So what would you do with him against Chelsea? Does he come back into the team?
And I just said I would definitely start Son. I would start Sonny this time. I think that it's a different kind of game. Chelsea play a different kind of way. They're not going to let us have the ball and just we have to break them down. I think that's not going to be the case. So I think that bringing Sonny as a super sub wouldn't necessarily work. in impact wise. I just don't think it would. So I would probably play Sonny while he's got that little bit of confidence back as well. I think, yeah, I would start him.
And if you want that Chelsea oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just go on, Jack. If you got a question, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, I mean, Mia, I mean, if they want that Chelsea preview, they can find it on your channel, I imagine. And I had you stick to those answers, so there's no changing now. You have to stick to that.
That's fine. I'm not really a flip flop kind of person, Jack. You know, I stick to my guns.
You can be flexible. Things could change between now and then.
Flexibility taught me,
You can be flexible.
I'm flexible, but when it comes to some things, obviously that's what I've said. I'm not going to go back on that. I think what I think is for a reason. I've got a good logic behind why I would play Sonny. I've got normally I have quite a logical thinking. So yeah, if you want to see more logical thinking, come to Spurs Between the Lines. I do lives Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 8:45 UK time, AM. So nice early morning. Yeah, it's not that early. It's not that early. Trust me, I get up at 6 o'clock. So yeah, that's obviously if you're around for that, that's fantastic. If you could go and give all my videos, my latest videos, a like, even if you don't want to watch the live full, I actually cut it up and put the review of the West Ham game in a separate video. So if you could go and give those a watch, and the lives, if you could just go and like them all, because it just pushes them out to the algorithm as well by having the likes, and watch it for a good few minutes. Watch it for at least 3 minutes. That would do, just to push it out a little bit a bit more for me. I would really appreciate it. I'm up to 125. So I'm not far away from 250 now. So 225. So I'm pushing there.
Pushing. It's good. It's good to see. I love seeing people coming out creating Spurs content and doing well at it as well. I really enjoy seeing it. So Mia, everybody actually get over to Spurs Between the Lines. Show Mia your love and your support. We know you love listening to her. We can tell by the numbers on stream. So guys, get over there and replicate that and go and smash the subscribe button. Yeah, leave yourself up there. Thanks for your time this evening.
No worries. Speak to you soon.
See you soon, man.
I
might actually surprise you on these mornings and be on your stream with coffee and toast.
Yeah, I think I might have a heart attack if you do that. I'd be like, what the hell is he doing up so early? Did he wee in the bed or something?
I think if I'm up that early, I probably had a heart attack, to be honest with you, Mia, but beat yourself up.
All right, well, take care.
Well done, Mia. Great call.
Bye-bye. Really, really enjoying these calls today. Some lots of good things to be said. Everybody do get over and check out Mia. Good channel. Really nice woman as well, guys. So get over there and check her out. Daniela Zito's in the house. Big up panel. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Daniela. I hope you're keeping well. Think we got this one. So we're on to the bottom. Duta. And he says, big up the bottom. He says, playing a more pragmatic style of football and securing a 0-0 draw in 50% of the games lost this season would put us comfortably in 4th place. But and this probably highlights why I speak about the backline so many times. I know people are going to go, Dave, scratch record, broken record, change the record. Well, I'll change the record once they change that backline. There's a fair deal. But I've always said this, in games you're not playing well, you can't keep relying on Kane and Son and Kulu at times to keep digging us out of trouble, keep scoring the goals they're scoring. And sometimes there's going to be a game or a couple of games where you're not at your best going forward, creativity or whatever else. You need to be able to keep a clean sheet and try and get out there with a draw or get out there with a result. We haven't been able to do that. We've just crumbled, capitulated. And they can't handle the pressure when it's on them. It perfectly backs up my point, Jack.
I think it definitely does.
I actually sent out a warning, at the start of the season and again in the January transfer window.
Yeah.
It's going to come back to haunt us not doing the business there. And it has.
And we know it will, and it already has. Another thing, though, too, to bottom Duda, is even progressive managers have, sought to fix the defense first before they fix anything else. Look at Eddie Howe. When he was at Bournemouth, I think his big problem at Bournemouth was that he scored a lot of goals with that side. They were a very progressive side, considering the size and, considering the fact they're punching a little above their weight. But even at the time, he was heavily criticized, his Bournemouth side for conceding just way too many goals. And ultimately, I think it actually led to his sort of demise eventually, or, his sort of downfall at Bournemouth was just because they eventually were a bit too, sort of progressive. They were attacking too much and they didn't really know how to keep goals out of their net. And eventually they just sort of got relegated for that reason. And funny enough, a guy that, seemed to have learned his lesson from that situation, Eddie Howe, he came into Newcastle. And what did he do? Instead of fixing the attack, he came in and fixed the defense right away instead of fixing the attack. I think Newcastle needed basically everything fixed. They needed the midfield fixed. They needed the attack fixed. They needed everything fixed. But he actually sought to fix the defense first more than anything. And I don't know why that's not the case at Spurs either, that the defense isn't fixed first.
I actually made that point in a group chat the other day because someone brought up...
Because he's not even a defensive manager, or at least at Bournemouth, he wasn't a defensive manager.
I can't remember where it was, but someone brought up Newcastle, and I was happy. I was like, brilliant. Because you know what Newcastle done first? They strengthened their back line, and then the argument was, are they players that Spurs would have signed? Probably not, but the argument still stands. They strengthened the back line. And look, that's what we've got to do. Now, I do take that. Looking at it now, when we do strengthen that back line, we're going to come back to problems that we've seen maybe in the AC Milan game, Brentford, Brighton last season towards the back end. That when we are playing well, teams then will sit back, block up the middle, and they ask us, okay, what have you got? So in that regard, you probably might need to bring in, not necessarily a Cam, but a guy with a very, very exquisite passing range, a locker of passes. That's what you probably need to bring in here. Maybe after you bring in centre-backs and the goalkeeper, because then you will start getting asked different questions. But the bottom doer, this is why I love you, my man. You're speaking my language. You could have wrote that in Chinese and I still would have understood it just because it's about the back line. Big yourself up, my man. Absolutely love that, brother. And who else have we got here? We've got Ian Cookjack with the super sticker.
Yes, he did. And he's just wishing us, or he's giving us a big good job. And thank you very much, Ian. Really do appreciate your support. And I think he said he also he was going to come on today, but maybe some internet troubles or something like that have come up, Ian. I'm sorry to hear that because I would love to have a good conversation, a good chat with you. What I would say, Ian, is there's also Friday, if that works for you, around 3 p.m. UK time, if that works for you. And also, I think we're going to try our best to get the fan show, post-match fan shows, should I say, out as much as we can. Of course, we can't always do them. It's very late at night, for some of them, but, we want there to be more opportunities for people. So tonight doesn't work. Hopefully there's another chance sometime down the road. Pick yourself up, Ian.
Big up, Ian Cook. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's your last name or not, but I envision you being a chef or some sort of cooking life. I could be completely wrong, brother. Let me know, though. It kind of puts an end to my query. But big up,
Working
Ian.
with Paratici, maybe, Dave. You never know. Perhaps he's cooking over with the Don.
Gordon Ramsay. Who knows? Oh, Partici, Gordon Ramsay. That'd be a duo I'd like to watch. Anyway, don't give me ideas.
I also want to say, I know John Stokes, we missed his member super chat, but John did bring up the fact that maybe we should be actually putting Sonny as a super sub for the next few games and see how that goes. And, it's an interesting thought from John. So I know that doesn't really count, John. Like I said, you're welcome to put in some more, comments or just, find the one that you put in originally. We'd love to talk about it, but just thought, maybe bring up John's comment as something maybe to ask maybe guests later, Dave, right? Is do you continue with this Sonny super sub, kind of method? Do you drop Sonny for Chelsea?
I think, look, I think like I described earlier on, just quickly, I think the reason why it works, and it worked against Leicester, it worked against Chelsea, is because Harry Kane has the space to get time. The game's opened up a bit more space, get turned on the ball and play me behind. So I hear that argument. I do hear that argument, John. I do find it a little bit harsh. I'll be honest. I find it a little bit harsh. I think with the service that Sonny is giving, I think maybe we should probably pay a little bit more faith.
And he's the one who scored the goal. Richie didn't.
But
Richie had a good chance.
With the big question was why his son stopped performing beforehand. I went and looked at it, and I simply came up with the conclusion: Harry Kane is not in as much space, time, and everything on the ball he had last season, and that's probably where it's come from. Ironically, I think I've been proven right. When Son comes on, getting that all the time in the world, plays and he scores. Look, I'm torn, to be honest with you, John. Just let me tell you why, and you could probably solve my conundrum. Because when Harry Kane, and in the first half of games, it's a bit more tighter, Kane can't get turned to play, so the Suns have to come all the way back to the half line to pick up the ball. Now, even when he came on, he still lost it once or twice deep enough. We can't afford to do that with the back line we've got. So in that regard, I'm like, take him out the team. But then when he comes on, he scores goals. And he has continued to score goals throughout his career at Tottenham. So I'm like, I do want him to start. So, John, solve that conundrum for me, my man. But look, let's keep this moving. Let's get on the next guest. And it is one and only Dermotron. Let's have him on. How you keeping, my man?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Buzzing after yesterday. Sending them Barney the dinosaur bobbing machines under their arm back to East London with the referee with him. And he was breaking news. He was seen walking out of Tottenham with the Barney dinosaur outfit on and a bobble machine. So he was seen going down to the East End with that.
We found out he was a Newcastle fan, so perhaps maybe there was something at play, Dermot. Maybe he was very jealous of the fact that Spurs, he knew, we're going to be advancing into fourth place, after that win.
But did you see the footage that's come out that he actually took his earpiece out talking to Højbjerg? And he actually put his hand over the mic, so the people couldn't hear what he was saying to Højbjerg at one point during the game yesterday. So yeah. Wow. Look, I've got a bit of breaking news in the last hour on the takeover. If I don't know if you lads have read it.
Yeah,
but
tell us about it.
It's on Spurs News now, and it's on Give Me Sport, and it's from CBS. And Tottenham Lewis could be intrigued by close to a $4 billion offer at Hotspur Way. Joe Lewis could be intrigued by any offer worth $3.8 billion to sell the North London club. Now, apparently, they're thinking it's the Qataris that are going to go and bid for Tottenham.
So they don't reckon this Jan the Jaffe guy is in the running at all then, considering they were saying the bid would be around 3.75 million.
It's the same company, it's the same bunch of people that own PSG, but it's a different person. They have no stake in PSG. So they're going to bid for Tottenham. Apparently 3.8 billion. It's on CBS. And if you go on to Spurs News now, and the name of the article is Give Me Sport, all one word. It's on there. And that just broke in the last hour.
Interesting. Because mine and Jack's conclusion earlier was, with the price in football, you would struggle to see it sort of getting any higher than what it is. At some stage, it has to level out or there'll be a collapse, right? Yeah. So our conclusion was that if the right money came in, we didn't think they would be opposed to selling it, judging by Forest League last December, QSI, Jam Roly Poly, these sort of guys being interested in Tottenham. And we were like, well, no smoke without fire. But Dermot, what would you like to see the club do at this point then? So if the right offer came in, what do you want to see them do?
I'll be honest, I would like them to sell. They've taken us as far as they come. Look, I've been down the middle as much as I can without being on one side or the other. But I think from a footballing side, they've taken us as far as they can. I agree with you, Dave, when you said earlier that they may hold on to the construction side of what they're doing around Tottenham and leave the footballing side to somebody else who's going to take it on and pump billions. But there is a twist. Everyone wants to get rid of Daniel Levy, but Daniel Levy could be kept as chairman under new owners. Now, how ironic would that be? That really, they're trying to get Levy and Enoch out. They may get rid of one, but they might not get rid of the other.
Interesting.
Just to play a bit of devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Just to play a bit of devil's advocate.
There's been rumors about him sticking around.
I'm just going to put this out there. These aren't my thoughts. My job is to ask questions and probe the guests. So that's what I'm going to do. What if Daniel Levy had to operate under different constraints, right? Because for all we know, Joe Lewis, the constraint is make it self-sustainable at all costs. So if a new owner came in and, asked him to change his ways or gave him different constraints to run it under, maybe spending more money, make it competitive, do you believe Daniel Levy could do that job? Or do you think he'll always look to save a buck here or there because he's an accountant?
Yeah, I think he could. It depends. We don't know. We know Lewis has the last say, but we don't know what's happening because he's given all of his things over to the lawyers in the Bahamas at the moment. So we don't know where the final buck stops from. But under a new owner who says, right, it's time to move this club to the next level. I don't know, Dave. He may do, or he may not do. We know he's an accountant, so we know he's going to penny pinch here. We've had 22 years of him penny pinching, but he has backed Conte. So there has been a slight change in how he deals with it. Now, I'd be 50-50 on that. I'm going to plead the fifth, if you don't mind, Dave. I'm not trying to not answer your question.
Fair enough. I do want to ask the people in the chat as well. Just get your answers in on that question. Look, just a simple question. Don't care me. It's not my ideas, not my thoughts. Just came up with it on the fly. Just be interested to know where people are at with it. Do you think Daniel Levy, if he was given different constraints to operate under, that he could go out and make this club competitive if that was the remit given to him, if new owners took over? Just get your comments in the chat and let me know where I'm at with it. I'll be honest, I'm not sure he could. I think the fact that he's done it for one way for so long, I'm not sure Leopard can change its spot. So I'm not sure. I think there'll always be that element of, I can save a buck here, I can save a buck there. And plus, I think he's been given long enough. I think he's been given long enough. I think I would like to see just the faces and the personnel probably change. Maybe change the culture up a little bit. That's where I'm at with it. But Dermot, as well, if we do get new owners, do you think Conte and Kane will stay?
See, that's the thing I was going to say. Well, that then changed Conte's mind, but I don't think it will. I think if Conte stays, it goes. It's down to him. It's down to his big up Mir, and that's no problem. It's down to him. It's down to his mental health, and it's down to his family. And I think that should come first before any football considerations. Harry Kane, probably yes, because he can probably see money being spent and bigger players coming in. But I think what Levy's waiting for, Dave, is to see what happens to Man United. How that takeover goes through. Because Qatari's
I gave an interview in his language today, and it was translated. That's more or less done.
Yeah, that he's going to wait and see what happens there. We cannot be left behind again. We've now got to follow these takeovers. And I've said it on my channel, Dave, we are very, very attractive to the US owners because of the NFL, and I think this is where the Indian American gentleman will be more of a interested in us because of the NFL and because of the American sports market it can get us into.
He's already got a basketball team as well.
Yeah, he has. And also, he might bring naming rights as well with him on the table as well. So he may bring the whole package. Now, does that mean Levy and Lewis want to sell? I think Lewis does. I think Lewis is 3 years old. He's not going to bother. Does Levy want to sell? No, because the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is his baby. Everything around. So that's why I think they'll sell the football club, but they won't sell the development around it. And I think that's where the sticking point might be. But the club's in London. We've got a stadium we can use all the time. The NFL and everything, the boxing, I think we're very attractive to anybody who wants to commit either a Qatari or an American owner. I think we're a very attractive proposition.
I will say I would err on the side of caution, and this isn't to warn anybody off, because, I mean, I want a guy to come in and just splash the cash and say, right, Premier League title, Champions League is our ambition. I don't care about anything else.
Yeah.
But I will warn people, and maybe err on the side of caution, is that because there's development rights and development plans that come with it, you know, what you don't want is another guy that sees it and goes, well, with all the extra revenue streams like the Skywalk, like the NFL boxing, etc., that I can make outside of football. And and what I mean outside of football is they're not relying on season ticket holders, not relying on TV revenue. They can make their own revenue. That they also want to keep running it as self-sustainable or tight, and that their main interest is the property portfolio and the property development rights that come with it. So we can't just jump at the first offer that comes in. We have to make sure that it aligns with what we want, because it is a case where someone might view that and go, hang on, I can do what they're done and I can develop in London. Yeah. Brilliant.
This is why I've signed the air caution, be careful what you wish for. I've always said it. Look, we've been under the scholar years when we nearly lost our club. I can remember that. We had then the sugar years, which was sort of building us back up again Enoch had come in and taken us to another level. And I think now it's down for another person to take us up another level. So if Enoch and if we want them out, I think they would just sell the football club and they will keep everything else around the club. And I think that's what will happen. I can't see somebody just buying this outright because Enoch will not want to sell all the property rights around the stadium. They would just want to sell the football club, pure and simple. And I think that's what will happen.
I feel like it would take a lot to get them out of it entirely. It would just take a lot to get them out of it entirely.
It would. You look at Man United. It's taken them 20 years to get the Glazers out, and fair play to them. They've persisted. They've set up a rival football club as well, an anti-Manchester United football club, anti-Glazers football team. You see the protesters, 20,000 turn up for one protest. Man United is a bigger global brand than Tottenham. Tottenham is a big name in London in football.
United don't have as big revenue streams from non-football related activities.
Yeah,
but
there's
what
also
United is you got to remember their owners are money boys, financial guys.
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise me if they see with the inflation going on now that they foresee a collapse and they want to get out and minimize their debts as quick as possible. It really wouldn't surprise me. But Dermot, just because we're on this
sorry, can I just say one more thing very quickly, Dave, on that, and then we'll very quickly move on. The Man United thing comes with no debt. So whoever takes on the Qataris are going to have, United going to have no debts. We're going to be late.
How does it come with no debt? Because they bought the club on debt.
Yeah, but the money... The Qatari thing, he said on Friday when it broke, he said, I'm buying the club outright, no debts. So the club will be back to where it was before.
Maybe they're buying them out of the debt.
He's going to clear.
Well. Yeah, he's going to clear
them out of the debt.
And any money they make, it goes back into the club through a shell company. But with us, whoever buys us, they're going to have debt onto it because nobody's going to be able to afford it. So they're going to have to loan against the club. With
John the Jaffe, it was going to come with an extra 750 million worth of debt and added on to already the over 1.5 billion, some of it structured long term. So not ideal. But Dermot, while we're on this conversation, George here says, I believe the club can be successful under Enoch. Do you think there is a way where we can go on and win trophies under Enoch, or do you think maybe that time sort of elapsed or passed from the Poch era?
Anything's possible. And Joe Lewis's daughter could come in and take over and say, right, here, who's ever in charge, either it be Poch or either it be Conte or whoever. Look, here, we're going to put $1 billion in or 300 or 400 million, go and buy who you want. They may have a different, and get Levy out there, they may have a different lookout. Look, it could happen or it might not happen. We don't know what the future holds. But I think for now, this is going to run, but there is more legs to this story. Tottenham is a very attractive proposition for American and Qatari owners, people wanting to get into the Premier League. And I think you are right on one thing, Dave. These people that have got these clubs like Man United, Tottenham, there is a collapse, a recession coming. They're going to want to get out once there's a big bang. And they're going to want to get out with as much money as much as they can.
Well, especially Glazers, because they've got so much debt on their books. But George, I mean, look, maybe come on the fan show and enlighten me. Let me know, how you think we can be successful under Enoch. I'll be honest, I think that time passed under the Pochettino era. I think, okay, I understand with stadium and all, but I don't think they grabbed that enough. And I think since then, you see the money that's come into the game. It's looking harder and harder. And we're looking further and further away from it. Me personally, I think that time has probably passed. But let me know, George, because I'm always open to new ideas, new thoughts. Maybe someone says something that I haven't considered, I haven't even thought about. So feel free to come on or even just put in the comments, man. Let us know how you think that's possible. I'd be definitely interested to hear that. But big up, George. Dermot, good call in today, my man. But look, where can people find you, brother?
Yeah, if you like what I have to say, you can find me on THFC Till I Die with me, The Godfather, and Queen Ellie, and me and Mia are on in the morning. And then we're doing a golden game tomorrow night. We're going right back into the 80s to do something our glorious years. And then we're doing two debates. We're doing one on Wednesday about the takeover. And then we're doing a debate on Thursday about the sugar years. And we're going to rate the managers. And I'm going to give my biggest rating to the train enthusiast that is Christian Gross, who still wandering around somewhere in London with his train ticket in his hand going, I'm free. So we're having a bit of fun, and then we're in the build-up then for the Chelsea game, which we're going to smack them this side of West London. They're in disarray. So. Spurs are back. Put Sonny on the bench and bring him on half an hour, let him get another few goals. That's my cue.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Dermot, big yourself up, sir. Great calling today. Good conversation, and we'll speak again soon, man.
Yeah, very weird for me to come on and talk about ownerships. I normally stay away.
Honestly, Dermot, you led it, bro. Like, very well done, I would say. Like, you really you powered through that, and honestly, you dominated that. Well done to you.
This is what I enjoy. I love when people come on and they have their own topics they want to touch on. You know, freshens it up. Yeah, I like it, Dermot. I like it. So, look, hopefully we'll see you.
I can't wait to get over to England to AC Milan, see everyone over there who watches all here. We're going to have a good time over there.
Look forward to seeing you, brother.
Yeah, you too, brother. Can't wait.
See you again soon. Absolute legend.
Great call, Dermot. Great call.
Good calling by Thermo.
Great call.
Good to see you in the building, Paddy Harnett. I hope you're keeping well, my man. Great to see you in the building. Limerick, let me know how they got on in the hurling at the weekend, brother. Let me know. But look, let's keep this moving. I just need to run to the toilet, Jack. I'll be back in 1 second. I think Ian's next, isn't it?
Perfect time for me to get started with Ian then, Dave. Let's do it. How are we?
What's up, Jacko? What's up, Jack?
Well, post-bubble blower derby, Ian. That's where we are. Where do we stand on it? And maybe, I don't know if I want to make you already think about Chelsea. So how about we just start with the bubble blower derby? I mean, feels good to get a win like that. Where do you want to start? Who's your big player out of that match?
Emerson. I mean, happy for Sonny. I mean, I was talking to some folks who said, like, if Sonny keeps playing like this, he may never start for the rest of the year. So I'm just like, well, wouldn't be the worst thing if he comes off the bench and just plays like that. So
what a world class shot he had with the outside of his boot as well. Perfect finish. If anything, I kind of said, like, seeing probably West Ham, noticing him coming on, not even, coming off the field, coming onto the field at that stage in the game. I felt like I heard an audible gulp, from David Moyes. It makes you, terrified to see a player of his caliber come onto the field.
Right. It's like, and honestly, like we can probably spin this a few different ways, but basically, like, if you see, like, Sonny coming onto the field in the second half, man, and your folks have been, like, running around for, like, 45, 60 plus, that's got to be probably the worst thing you want to see right there. And, yeah, like, he is just out for, like, revenge on everyone right now. So we're just very glad and thankful it all shook out the way it shook out.
I am as well. Do you feel like Richarlison, did he impress enough for you? Did he kind of leave you a little bit underwhelmed? Like, where did you stand on Richarlison's performance?
I mean, honestly, as far as, like, Richie's concerned, I go back and forth on it. Like, it's not like I'm definitely not one of those folks who is, like, questioning why we even brought him in. I mean, like, we brought him in for obvious reasons. But I feel like it's been a little underwhelming. But then again, though, I'm not expecting him his first year under a new system and, like, all of that. And also, like, let's just also keep this in mind. At Spurs, he doesn't need to be the guy. At Everton, he needed to be the guy.
It's a different role, that's a good point, actually, right? He's stepping into a different type of role. He's stepping into a different type of status or anything, like in the dressing room. That's a good point you make there. I actually don't even know if I've thought about that previously.
Yeah. It's like now with all that said though, do I think Richie is happy with his production this year? Oh, for sure. No. And like, I don't think having a World Cup in the middle of the season really helped anything either. But look, it's like, I'm sure if you ask Richie, would he want to be in a situation where his numbers aren't exactly great, but he's on a top 4 squad, or his numbers are through the roof and he's for Everton, who are 1 or 2 spots out of the relegation fight? I would be stunned if he said, oh yeah, send me back to Everton.
Let me ask you this, Ian, on Richarlison. So we're facing a situation this summer where Kane has 1 year left on his contract because he hasn't signed a new one. And if he doesn't go to sign, you're probably looking at maybe a bid of around 80 to 100 million, which you probably will have to accept, right?
Right.
Is Richarlison that guy to lead the line in the absence of Kane?
I think in the immediate short term, yeah. It's like I would say like in the immediate short term, and by that I mean like probably for that first year. Yeah, like the good thing about it, you're never going to be short on strikers who want to come and play in England ever. Okay, so there's definitely the draw there. I mean, yeah, like as far as like Harry's concerned, I mean, look, like he's already the club's all-time scorer here, and honestly, if for whatever reason, if he wants to like walk, it'll suck. But hey, like honestly, like it's not like we've given him a whole lot of reason to like hang around the last few years. So if Harry walks, am I comfortable with Richie being the person up top for now? Yeah. Who knows what happens in who knows what happens in the transfer window? But as of right now, sure.
I kind of know what you mean too, Ian, with the fact that with Richarlison, right, he was brought in, and then now in case maybe the worst situation does arise with Harry Kane, Spurs aren't put in that difficult situation where, you know, maybe clubs can ask for more money. They can kind of, you know, bully us maybe on the price, knowing that we don't have a striker, like we're desperate for one. But with Richie, like you said, you know, Spurs have a bit more of a bargaining position if they wanted to go get another striker, and they aren't desperate right away to fill the void. They do have a guy that can do it, maybe like you said, in the short term. That was a good way to look at it, I think, personally. Interesting from you. Do you feel like maybe for Sonny, though, do you continue with the super sub routine? Do you go for it again against Chelsea?
I'm honestly torn because honestly, it's like, because it's not like you don't play him at all against Chelsea. Obviously, you have to.
Yeah.
But actually, I might be with like, as far as like, do you start him up front, or do you just like bring him on in the second half? I would say honestly, look, like I would just, out of respect for him and everything he's done. Yeah, it's like you start him and then just see what happens. But I think though, like, but also depending on how this like training week pans out and like everything else, it's not like we don't have options. It sucks, but it's not like we don't have options. So yeah, like I would play him, and who knows? Hopefully this is what he needs. Who knows?
Interesting point you make there. I just feel like with Sonny, I see what you're saying. Like, is it a bit harsh to leave him out? You know, after he already just scored, right? He's gotten some confidence, that's for sure. But is it also a situation of don't fix what ain't broke? You know, either like, do you just go with the same lineup? Do you go with, you know, the same routine, the same everything that you had against West Ham? That's an interesting thought. And also Ben Davies, a left wing back, you know, too, you know, before, after you say what you're about to say what you're about to say, but also Ben Davies, a left wing back. Think about that too.
Yeah. It's like, and I completely understand that like West Ham plays in the same town as us. And to be honest, so do like 6 other clubs, but this is probably the worst West Ham team we've seen in probably a while. All right. It's not like they're the same West Ham team that was like somehow hanging around between that like 7th and like 4th spot for like the majority of the year. What like 2 or 3 years ago? West Ham is trash this year. That being said, though, as far as Chelsea's concerned, even on their worst day, they're still better than half of the folks in the Prem on their absolute best. So you can't really do anything about that. But honestly, like, I'm sure Sonny would like to start every game, but I honestly feel like a decent amount of the fan base would probably be the only folks who would lose their minds if he didn't start, honestly. And it's like, and just because like I feel like I feel like Sonny just wants to do like what is best for him in the club. So if that means he has to like sit the first half, fine. I mean, like as long as we get those 3 points, I feel like that really should be the end all be all. Really,
that's all anyone should care about.
That is the case with Son. I think that is the case with Son. That if it means he has to sit out for the benefit of the team, I think he has no problem doing it. I think he absolutely loves Tottenham Hotspur for sure.
His interview suggested that with how humble, like you said, Dave, in the podcast, like he didn't, sulk about, his falling off the form this season. He didn't, look for any excuses or anything like that. So if he was told, listen, maybe for these next 2 games, I'm thinking about bringing you on as a super sub, he doesn't seem like the guy that would ever sulk about that or anything. He's the complete opposite.
That's what you call a leader as well, Jack. Someone that's not looking for the excuses, not looking to blame, the tea lady, for a weak tea, not looking to blame the physio for not engaging with
broken washing machine.
Chocolate bars are like Ellie. None of that. Right. Someone that sits there and goes, do you know what? I haven't been performing, and I'm not going to blame anything else. He could have easily blamed Perisic, could have blamed the way Conte is using him. He didn't. He took responsibility, and that's a bloody leader.
Right.
Right. Unlike some of these guys that feel like they have to come out to the press and talk all the time to feel like they're a leader. It's a joke. Right. I admire that by Sonny. What do you think, Ian? Fair with Sonny, the fact that he took responsibility for it himself?
Oh, yeah. It's like, I would say, like, it's like he's always come off as the kind of player that, like, he'll completely own up if he had a crap shift. I mean, also, like, just everything that we have just heard about his father just being how do I put this the nice way I can, one of the biggest hard asses we have ever heard of. I mean, like, his dad absolutely sounds terrifying in the best possible way. It's like, and I think even like a couple of years ago, they interviewed his dad and they basically said, like, do you think your son is world class? He's like, no. I was like, Jesus, that's harsh. But at the same time, though, like, you got to keep that fire lit. Yeah. So, and perhaps just with their whole dynamic, that's what works. Who knows?
I love that though, because I remember actually we spoke about this at the time, Jack, when it came out. And what I loved about it, it's kind of like he doesn't let Son get too far ahead of himself. So when you question the reason why, like, even though Sonny's been out of form, right? No one's questioning his character, no one's questioning his lifestyle, because we know someone like his father is never going to let him get carried away. And I think, I think that's important. We all know Son is committed, and the answer is just a poor run. That's all it is. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that.
Dan Coy saying, I'd like to see Richie in the number 9, performed a cracking near post header in the warm up right in front of me. Danjuma and Perisic as the Sun options. Come on, you Harris Army. Dan, I know you go to the games, and I bet seeing Richie warming up was absolutely brilliant. And I don't know about you, Ian, but I'm a kind of secret fan of Richie. I've wanted, him to kind of, maybe come to Spurs in the past, because he has that sort of energy, that type of, physicality that I do like about a lot of, number 9s. He's the guy that's, willing to stand up to anybody. It could be Van Dijk, and he's willing to climb all over him to win the header. He'll do whatever it takes to win a penalty. He's that type of, passionate player. And for me, I'm always rooting for Richie, even if it doesn't work out for him. I'm always going to be rooting for him. I want it to work out.
He is such a shit house. I mean, like, it's like the fact that he's on our team means we just automatically love it. But like, there were even a few times last few years when we were playing Everton.
Oh, that's right. We all hated him before he came.
I was like, I just hate this guy. I hate this guy so much, but because he's just so good. And honestly, like, just with how far like keep Harry has been playing more or less last 2 or 3 years. Obviously this won't happen, but like, just put Kane in like midfield, put Richie up top, and just see what happens, honestly. Because I mean, like, it's not a mistake that Harry Kane won the top playmaker in the boot in the same year. All right, like he can play that part, and honestly, at this point, it's okay. Like, it's like obviously we should all hope to like to win the league, but let's be honest here that probably isn't going to happen this year, right? So that kind of like frees you up to like be a little bit more like experimental against these like lower half like squads. Obviously, I'm not saying like to this next week or just even the week after, but like and like I've said this before, my biggest issue with Conte, he's just so rigid in what he wants to put out there. So obviously it won't happen. But but I definitely wouldn't be opposed to at least seeing that like once or twice.
Look, you're allowed to dream, Ian. You're allowed to dream. It's never going to happen.
I know, man.
You are allowed to dream, my man. But
right.
Big up, man, guys. Really appreciate the support, my man.
Good man.
And look, I've said this a number of times just quickly, Dan, is that, what Richarlison was best at this season and, was against Marseille. Put the ball in the box, let the fucker go and attack it. That's why I wanted to sign him. And that's where he's best at. This playing either side, it's just not good enough to do it. I know some would argue, well, we spent 60 million for him to play across all of the front three. Fine. But you just can't play there. We've learned our lesson. So for me, if we can get Richarlison in and doing what he's good at sometime soon, my man. But big up, Dan. Really appreciate support. And Ian, any last message for Spurs fans before we let you go, my man?
Yeah. I know you brought up there's this youth player coming out of Northern Ireland or like out of Scotland who's like Barry Ferguson's like nephew or something.
Yeah, Ferguson, right? Over at Brighton. Dave now. Dave, you tell him.
Yeah.
Evan Ferguson is a young Irish kid from County Meath. His father's name is Barry Ferguson, and he played in England for Coventry, Nottingham Forest, teams like that, and then also played in the League of Ireland.
Desperate for Ferguson to come in?
I mean, for like very obvious, like selfish vanity reasons, it'd be nice. Yeah. It's like, but yeah, it's like, and look, like with any potential takeovers, whether it's for the guy who owns the Phoenix Suns, I would obviously prefer that over the Qataris just on principle alone, obviously. But like, just invest in the youth for once, please, because like it's like yes, like Oliver Skip is a baller, okay, right? But there's no reason we need to be like this excited about one guy. All right, like he should be. It's like we're not expecting a Harry Kane to come through every year, although that'd be nice.
But we should have a few more skips. Yeah, we should have a few more.
Yeah, it's like there is no reason that like an Oliver Skip type should be like the most exciting youth player to come through our ranks. Like we just need to like build him up so folks like Skippy are the rule, not the exception.
Yeah,
great
and
point.
Yeah,
invest in more Fergusons too.
Wouldn't hurt, man. Wouldn't hurt.
Evan Ferguson, though, Ian, look him up. You can't realize the relationship. Look him up.
I would. I did one of those like 23andMe's like years ago. I wouldn't be shocked. It's just like, but that said, though, it's been like 300 years. So hey, who knows, right?
Maybe you got a little striker in you. You never know.
Right.
Big up, Ian, my man. Great calling, and thank you for your time this afternoon, my man.
Good man.
All right, guys.
Great call.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
See you soon. Geez, we are blessed with callings today, Jacko. They've actually all really been good, really enjoying them. So Brad Matthews and KPV have a tough act to follow. Absolutely love it. Just quickly, I just want to get onto that just quickly. We've got Stephen. Says, great channel, Jack and Dave. Come on, you Spurs. He said on the Emerson underneath the video that we done the podcast, and guys, you need to calm it down when it comes to Emerson. I hear you, my man. But like I said, on the flip side, because of all the hate he's got and everything else, I think he deserves to be built up a little. But Stephen's just one of these. He doesn't want to get too far ahead. And again, I fully understand it. I'm learning them lessons this season myself. It's like, don't expect too much because you will get hurt. But big up, my man. Absolutely love that.
Can't stop myself, Stephen. Happy Clapper Jack. I've been accused of it before. I'm over the top all the time. So, maybe have to get used to it, but I completely agree with you. It also comes with a grain of salt. Big
up, Stephen. Ian Cook was getting back to me, and then he even put it in the super chat as well. Really appreciate that, my man. Too generous. He says, you want to know what I did for a living? I work in a recycling center. My man, keeping the planet going round, keeping it, extending the planet's life just that little bit longer, day by day. So big yourself up, my man. not an easy job to do, you know, not an easy job to do. Got a couple of them around where we live, and yeah, not easy work. So credit to you, man. Big yourself up.
I would say,
honestly, work's hard, and then, you know, following Tottenham's hard. Not sure you picked the right club, my man, but big yourself up.
Big yourself up, Ian. I would say I'm actually quite, I'm a bit of I would say a bit of an anal recycler, Dave. I kind of, you know, I'm kind of like, I wash out almost every single little plastic thing I use. Like the missus even makes fun of me for how over the top I am. It's probably because I'm from the granola, you know, city of Seattle. Maybe that might be as well, you know, the bit over the top with the recycling over there. So there you are, Ian. I'm maybe, you know, I probably recycle a bit too much, even some would say.
You're a wet dream to someone like Ian. Ian loves someone like you.
I don't know. Maybe I'm giving him too much work, honestly. He probably just wishes, you know, he could relax one day because of people like me.
Probably hates someone like me. I'm a bit of a lazy recycler, but he's definitely your wet dream. Big up, Ian, my man. Really appreciate the support. A fair play to you, brother. George is answering my question as well. It's just guitar money is no guarantee of success and could backfire. We aren't that far away from winning a trophy under these owners. A couple of signings and Conte staying, things could look very different. Look, I think if they could keep Conte down and they committed, you know, 2 centre-backs, a goalkeeper, maybe another midfield option in terms of a creative player in the midfield, I think maybe there's a slight opportunity. I hear you. Me, like I said, I do think they've missed the boat from the Pochettino era. But I hear you. Look, George, fan show on Friday at 3 p.m. Make sure you get out and have a conversation.
Yeah, come on, have your say, George. What I would say about Qatari ownership is they haven't exactly been that successful at PSG, apart from just, you know, winning the Ligue 1 and, you know, the Coupe de Ligue. But I think, you know, they haven't won a Champions League yet, the Qatari ownership. So there's maybe something about that.
Big up, my man. Phil Coy says, I think Richie is not being given a fair crack and a whip, in my opinion, playing out of position, left wing, right wing. He's not comfortable with. When he played against Marseille, he was playing up top and scored a brace. Absolutely spot on. My thoughts exactly, Phil. Big yourself up. And then Rex R says to Dave and Jack, Rob Wallace gives his best from New Zealand. He's pretty busy currently. Do you work with Rob? You must work with him or you're friends with him. But big up to you and big up to Rob Wallace. Hopefully Rob's not too busy for the day. Hopefully he gets a bit of time to himself to enjoy the win over the Bubble Merchants. And big yourself up, Rex. Hopefully you're having a good day as well down in New Zealand, my man. One of my mates, he's got a brother that lives over there, very fond of the country. So I've had a couple of mates that also went over there as well when they were younger. Says it's very, very nice. I'd love to get over that side of the world one day. But big up, Rex, my man.
Really appreciate Rob for us. Say hello to Rob for us. Good man he is.
Say hello to Rob, my man. Big yourself up, Rex. But look, let's keep this moving. We've got 2 guests left. The next one is the legend himself, KPV.
Hello, boys. I'm good.
What do you want to talk about? Do you want to start with yesterday's game?
Yeah, I'll start with yesterday's game.
What's your thoughts?
Like, I thought we had a good game. Like, first half FC, we don't turn up, but second half FC always comes around. But yeah, like,
did you go to the game, KPV? Or were you at the pub for it, or were you with some friends for it?
I was here. Like, I was here
Nice.
watching it. But yeah, I'm definitely going to the Milan game on the 8th, and I've got a friend called Steve who wants to come with me. So I'll be seeing you guys there.
Were you popping any bubbles yesterday, you know, KPV?
Yeah, like, yeah, I annoyed those West Ham fans and I wound them up. So, yeah, those bubble blowers got absolutely spanked. And long may it continue. Son just loves scoring against them. Kane didn't this time, but fortunately, yeah, he's now scored. Son has now scored in 4?
Past Teddy Sheringham, so I heard.
Son's now scored against West Ham 4 successive seasons.
Yeah, I think that record with Teddy Sheringham is in the second behind Harry Kane with most Premier League goals scored for Tottenham, I think is what that is.
Yeah, he's behind Kane. But like, again, Mo go. Mo go. That's what Barry calls him. That's what we have to call him. Mo go. 12, brilliant performance yesterday. And he
Man
was
of the match for you, KPV?
Man of the match. I don't understand why. Ben got it. Ben Davies. I don't understand why he got it. The Welsh Cafu. The Welsh one. Why did he get it? By Alan Smith, an ex-Gooner. Why would he give it to him? Not Mo Go. Like, come on, man.
Maybe he's an Emerson hater, KPV. He's just, he's ruined his words. Maybe he doesn't want to give it to the Mo Go.
But how was that not a penalty when it was? We should have had a penalty. How is that not a pen?
Yeah, actually, let's speak about that, KPV.
I think he's a Newcastle fan. That's why.
I read something today where they were like, "Oh, they're probably going to come out and say he was falling," but he wasn't falling, though. KPV.
No, it wasn't. It was a pen. Like,
why are we getting these decisions? Because we seem to get the bum end of decisions. I mean, you even take yourself back to. I still got gripes over this, but when Lloris supposedly dived when Callum Wilson body checked him, but yet they awarded that goal, right? But yet they can't give a simple hard ball. It's blatant hard ball, trying to pass it to Harry Kane so he can get a shot off. And your man just leans down and just like palms it away. It's not volleyball, for fuck's sake. It's football.
Like Souček saved the Chelsea goal last week and they should have had a penalty. Like, well, what are you saying now, people? We should have had one. And like, it's not volleyball, for fuck's sake. It's football. Like, we should have had a penalty, man. Like, we've been robbed the last few seasons. Like, Champions League final, that wasn't a penalty. Got Sissoko here, and Jordan Henderson said it was a pen. Do one, mate. It wasn't a penalty.
Remember Harry Kane's goal disallowed against Southampton when he was onside?
Yeah, and Anthony Taylor was the ref. Like, give us a break, kid. Like, never offside. And Sporting Lisbon, it touches the Sporting Lisbon's player's hand before Kane scores, like, and we get robbed by that referee who someone on Twitter has as his profile picture. Like, give me a break, man. We've been robbed many times.
Do you think there's an agenda out there with referees against Tottenham?
Yeah, there is. Like, referees have an agenda against us. Like, was it the referee against City when we beat them 3-2? The fourth official wasn't happy, just turned his face and went, he wasn't happy. Like, he must be a City fan or something. Like, we won 3-2, for God's sake, you fourth official. We done a double over City last season. Thanks for the 6 points to champions, but you lost. And then, I don't know, what's the referee's name? The one who was the fourth official at the Etihad when we won 3-2. Don't know what his name. Craig Pawson. That's the one. He wasn't happy. But, well, Conte celebrated with Ryan Mason and Stellini, but we won, so that time, and like, but he wasn't happy. Like, I think there's an agenda against us, these referees have. And
yeah, I think so too, if you want me to be brutally honest. I think bringing in VAR has probably corrupted the sport a little bit. I know some people are going to say, Dave, put on your tinfoil hat. For this one, I probably will, because, Liverpool used to get all the decisions. They needed someone to challenge City, right? Liverpool dropped off this season. Now Arsenal are getting decisions. It's madness. And then Tottenham are always left in the lurch, and it pisses me off. But big up, Stephen, my man. Really appreciate it. Really kind comment. Absolutely love it. Sorry about going overboard on Emerson on the podcast. I know you weren't a fan of it, my man. Hopefully you understand it. But big up, Stevie. Big up,
yeah, big up,
Stevie. Other things to talk about. So we've got other things here. Should Stone start for Chelsea? Someone making the argument. Keep Son as an impact sub.
Yeah, like, maybe for at least a few more games, he should be a super sub. Like, I don't know who was the last Tottenham player to be a super sub and come on and score some goals. Like, I think
Fernando Llorente.
Llorente, that's the one. And I just want to congratulate him on his retirement. A brilliant career. Yeah, and probably a great Spurs player for me. And the goal against Dortmund when he headed it and Toby Alderweireld and Eriksen high-fiving, and like, yeah, we won 3-0 and then Kane scores in Germany a few weeks later, and like, yeah, probably, but goal against City, it came off his hip, not his arm, David. Came off his hip. And
you're never going to let that one go, KPV, are you?
Like, it didn't actually come off Llorente, it actually came off Laporte.
Hit his hand, KPV, hit his hand.
No, it didn't, Dave. Come on, man.
Come on.
He doesn't have his facts straight, KPV. Dave doesn't have his facts straight. He doesn't have his facts straight.
If we lost, then we wouldn't go to the semis, Dave.
Get your facts straight, Harris. Get your facts straight.
That's why I'm admitting it. That's why I'm admitting it, because it got us through. But
get your facts straight, Harris.
I'm not accepting that, Dave, because the Spanish, he's probably the second Spanish striker we had, like after Soldado and Llorente second. But
why did you mention Soldado's name, KPV? Why did you have to do it?
I'm not accepting it, Dave, because it didn't touch his arm. It came off his hip, man. Like, the referee gave a goal, so, and Llorente Wanyama were just having a little like that. So
Neil Sharpton is calling it the hand of God, KPV.
That's not like Llorente getting called the hand of God like Maradona did in the World Cup. Like, nah, that's only Maradona. But Llorente, we still went through, got to the final, but we were robbed. But this time, we're going to the final and we're winning it. Like, we can get a good draw, beat Milan, and bring on Man City. We'll do them again, then go all the way and win it. And I'll be in the front of that parade. But enough about that. We'll talk about that after the Milan game. But, like, Chelsea come next. Let's be honest. They're not great. If they keep that former Brighton manager who beat us at home last season, and I don't want that happening again because that'll be 2 times he's beaten us there. But sorry, kiddo, you ain't winning. You're shit. Like, we're above them.
Is there nothing that worries you? The fact that, like, no matter what form Chelsea's in, they always get up for us. Like, you look at the start of the season, they were absolutely woeful. They came out against us and they looked like prime Barcelona with fucking Ronaldinho on the team. Zinging balls left, right, center. I was fucking dizzy after 10 minutes, you know? Are you not worried at all?
No, I am worried about Thiago Silva, who scored home and away against us last season. And he scored home and away, but I'm worried about him. But I'm not worried about the whole team because Kante's not playing because he scored against us the 3rd goal, I think. But anyway, the good thing is he ain't playing. But the good news is they ain't got that ex-Guna player, Bamyang, who's not in the squad. He hasn't even played since before the World Cup. So he ain't going to play.
He always scores against us. But look, KPV, hopefully we make them wish they were at the Chelsea Flower Show. Huh? That'd be nice. That'd be amazing, KPV.
That'd be nice. And let's hope another masterclass from Emo Go. And let's hope he can score again because he's now got 3 Premier League goals. But 1 last season was at home against Newcastle, 5-1. And 2, 1 at the Etihad, and now another one at home. 3 goals in space of the last year. But
could he be the London Derby man? Could he be the London Derby man?
Can he be London Derby man? Why not? Like, Son is as well. Let's not forget Kane, but Kane hasn't scored now since the City game, so that he's now doing a goal drought since Haaland has, and a goal drought. So can Kane do it on Sunday against Chelsea? Why not? We need to end up losing.
I think he's saving his goal. He hasn't scored against West Ham. I think he's saving it for Chelsea, KPV. I really do, my man.
Yeah, and people remember we beat them 5-3 on New Year's Day 2015 when he got 2. That was his London Derby debut.
Yeah.
Against Chelsea. He got 2, we won 5-3. So can history repeat itself? Let's hope so. 5-3 win, but they've got Kepa, who I think kept a clean sheet against us last season. We didn't score against them in 4 games. We didn't score against them. We couldn't because they got that Spanish goalkeeper who, let's be honest, is shit. And Mendy ain't even playing.
Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. You know, all you got to do is get in his ear at a set piece.
Yeah,
and throw him off his game.
Yeah, like we're gonna beat them. We are. Let's be honest. And everyone have faith in Emma Goat. Can he become the London Derby king? Join Kane and Son. Like, I think Kane almost scored an overhead kick against them when we had Poch in that Carabao Cup semi-final first leg, but we got given a penalty because Kepa kicked Kane. So, like, brilliant, but 1-0 up then. We lose semi-final, second leg of the bridge. Those lot get to the final.
Bring up bad memories, KPV. I'm trying to forget them. I'm trying to create new memories this season, my man. Keep bringing up bad memories, but KPV.
KPV, I know you said you wanted to do a live stream at 100, right? So we put your YouTube, I think, in here. I think, KPV, we need to get you to 100 as soon as possible. And KPV
get me
does a
to
live
100
stream.
people, and I'll do a live stream. And yeah, I'm still gonna beat you, Dave, because you and I didn't have our game last season. So yeah, you better get practicing, man, because you're still gonna lose, like I said to you last week. So
he's practicing.
KPV, I've been practicing. You need to get your practice in, my man. I don't think you're ready for what's coming your way. My practice has been. I've been staying up late.
Just a quick one, guys. Good news. There's a Ledley King on the transfer market.
Yeah, on the Ultimate Team. I've already got him in my team, so don't worry about that, KPV.
KPV.
I'm getting him, and I'm going to get Team of the Year Harry Kane.
I think Dave took the last one, actually, KPV. It looks like there were none left, that he took the last one on transfer market.
No, there's still some left because there ain't many gone. So, but yeah, I'm still going to beat Dave, and I want a rematch with Ben because he still owes me a rematch for what he said on my birthday.
I'll tell you what we do, KPV, because the sign of a good FIFA player is someone that does it under pressure. So what we'll do is we'll put on a small amount for charity, and the loser has to donate to charity. Let's see how good you are under pressure, my man. Huh?
Well, you're on. You're on, like Triple H said. You're on. KPV, so we'll do a live stream, Dave. We'll do a live stream, and the Irish Hotspur, and I'll still beat you.
Give us a send off, KPV. Give us a send off.
But anyway, I'm off to play FIFA and then watch. Yeah, I've already practiced today. I played the foot draft, and I'm off to watch some Spurs memories. The Amsterdam one I'm going to watch, and then get ready to watch Monday Night War just 24 hours after the Elimination Chamber last night, so I'm watching and being on tomorrow because it's the repeat of the Champions League final, Real Madrid Liverpool. So I'll be watching and come on Real Madrid. But anyway, I'm off, people. So have a good night and bring on Sunday. Let's beat them. What's this? I don't know. I'm not going to say what David said before West Ham last season. I'm not saying it. Pies? I can say pie. A pie.
Come on, you Spurs, KPV.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get the win on Sunday. And as always, Levy out. Everyone in. Come on, you Spurs. Conte we trust.
Conte we trust.
See you soon, my man. See you soon. Love that. Love he's gone off to practice for the FIFA game. Let's see how he gets on. I'm ready to beat him for sure. I don't think he knows what he's getting himself in for, but big old KPV. Good calling. Let's keep this moving. We've got 2 guests left. I'm not sure who is next. To be brutally honest, who's next, Jacko?
I think it's Brad, and then we're going to end off with Queen Ellie.
Love it. Let's get Brad on. Brad, how are you keeping, my man?
I'm good, thanks. Well, I am now. I wasn't so good earlier in the day.
Probably had too many. Game yesterday?
Yeah, I was, and then had too many celebratory drinks after the game at both the stadium, and then when I got back home to Ealing, I actually posted a little clip on your WhatsApp group at an Irish bar I was in with this little Irish band playing. So, yeah. But, it was good. It was
too many bubbles from the celebration, I imagine,
Yeah, it was. I think I drank all their bubbles yesterday.
He drank all the bubbles. Exactly right. Well done to you. So, I mean, tell me then, if you were at the game, Brad, what was the atmosphere like? What was it tense? Was it
the first half was dull as dishwater. It was really, it was really sort of uninspiring. But the second half, we started to take a bit more chances, and it got a lot better. And the crowd, got better as well. And in fact, I thought it was a bit much at 1-0 seeing West Ham get battered everywhere they go. Because at 1-0, you think, but at 2-0, they started singing it, and they were singing, all the anti-West Ham songs were coming out, going down, and that sort of thing. And they even had a song of Emerson Royale, who scores what he wants, which I thought was really good. And everyone was
a turnaround of tunes for him. What a turnaround!
Brilliant. So the second half, It was actually quite an easy victory, really. I don't think West Ham really tested us. I think Forsyth had that one save to make. I got a little bit nervous when they got a couple of free kicks in the box, but at that time, I think we were 2-0 up, so it would have just meant that we would have been possibly hanging on for the last few minutes. But no, we played well, and it's a shame that we can't play that sort of way, every week. We were consistent yesterday. A bit dull in the first half, but we never was really in any trouble.
But is that maybe because West Ham are just that poor this season? They're that far down the table. They really are just at the end of the day, just a bad team.
Yeah, no, they're not very good. And they weren't very attacking either. He sat up with like 5 at the back yesterday, and the 2 attacking players. They brought Danny Ings, who always seems to score against us. Didn't bring him on to the second half, and they brought the other attacking player in the second half. But even then, they didn't really, look to try and get back in the game. It was a very un-Derby-like game yesterday, to be fair. When you compare it with the other games I've been to.
Why would you say that? Just maybe the fact that both teams weren't really going after each other. It was a bit kind of withdrawn, or why would you say that? Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a two-way thing with fans and teams. Is that the team responds to the fans and the fans respond to the team. So it's a bit of both, really. And I think the first half it was very dull, and then the second half when we started to play better, and which we always seem to do in the second half. I think, and getting that first goal, and the fact that Emerson scored it, I thought that was, that sort of lifted the crowd, and then they started to get behind them a lot better. Okay. And when that ground, the thing about that ground, I mean, you guys have been there. In fact, ironically, for the West Ham game, when that ground is buzzing, when the fans are singing, it's really loud, and can be very intimidating for opposition players.
So really, did you feel like it was waiting for that to happen then last night? We were just waiting for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, as I say, it's a two-way thing. It's all very well saying we're waiting for the team to play well, but then you've got to back them and support them as well. So generally, Tottenham supporters do. I think yesterday was just a weird game yesterday.
Why do you think it was flat? Because I see a lot of complaints over social media, people at the game saying, it was very flat. Like for a London derby, even West Ham's fans were supposedly very flat and very quiet. Do you think that is because all teams are just not playing well?
I think that's probably got a lot to do with it. I think after we capitulated at Leicester, and then despite the actual result being, I thought, a good result, the game against Milan, we lost that as well. So we've gone from beating Man City, where probably our best team performance of the season, to losing those 2 games. And I think the fans just sort of get that way until things start to happen. So obviously,
I understand it. I understand it. It's like, if you're going to spend the money you do on tickets, give them all your energy you do for 90 minutes, and you expect to see that performances, and that hasn't really been happening lately.
Yeah.
So I do understand it, but I would also say, Brad, I don't know if you think I'm wrong here, but especially in like London derbies, no matter how the team's playing, you should always go in there because of the like that. You should always try and make it that sort of atmosphere to pick the team up, though, right?
Yeah. No, it should. And that's why yesterday was a little bit strange, because normally those sort of games, the Arsenal game, the Chelsea game, and the West Ham games, they normally are sort of right from the start. But it just seemed a bit weird yesterday. But we won the game, and that was the most important thing. And at the end, it was celebratory in the crowd, all sort of singing, and especially when you beat West Ham, you sort of sing, they're going down, and of course, in the bar afterwards, in the goal line bar, they're all singing, West Ham get battered every day. So yeah, it's
I'm not gonna lie, I was jealous of them memories. Me and Jack had them last year, me, Jack and Ellie, loving it. We were walking down from the very top, and it's like, what the fuck's going on out here? I couldn't wait to get down and be a part of it. But then someone decided they'd add a few flares in this time. I mean, I was absolutely
you know what? I was actually, because where the bar there's got you got the bar area, then you go up the steps, and it's where you got the steps in that bit there was mainly where they were singing, and I didn't actually notice it until I saw someone post a video on YouTube of these this flare there. So it's a bit bizarre, but it's good. It's good.
It felt like maybe for me, Brad, that game, I don't know what it is. It's perhaps maybe just both teams were going after each other, a bit sort of timid. You could say a bit cagey. It felt like between the 2 teams. You could easily tell that West Ham were just not letting us try to get in behind them. Ironically, though, the goal that we did score, we got behind them. So we just took advantage of the what did you make of that goal? Seeing that in the stadium, Ben Davies and Emerson,
cracking goal, absolutely cracking goal. Ironically, the way that Conte wants wing backs to play is one wing. All right, it wasn't a cross. One wing back crosses, and the other one puts it in, and that's exactly what more or less happened. And Queen Ellie, if you're listening, the pass from Højbjerg was sublime, absolutely sublime. It was just brilliant. And Emerson, I must admit, my first reaction when it went through to Emerson on goal, going, "Oh no!" Sort of,
I think you're
one because you expect him to miss, and two because if he does miss, you know what the fans' reaction is going to be. But I'll tell you what, Jimmy Greaves would have been proud of that finish. He passed it into the back of the net. It was a really good finish, and I felt so happy for him, really did. And I feel happy for the way he's playing as well, because he's he's got his points of the games that he's not so good at, but he just puts his heart and soul into it. And I think defensively he's not too bad. It's just the attacking. You're not going to get him running down the ring and taking on a player and crossing it. That's the one thing in the game he can't do. But there's another moment. I don't know if you catch it on Sky on the live the live game you've seen it. But I don't think it was on Match of the Day where he did a sliding tackle. He slid in and got the ball from, I think the West Ham player it was, got the ball and actually got up with the ball, went down the pitch.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. It's like, whoa.
So was he a man of the match for you then after in that game?
Yeah, I saw that Sky gave it to Ben Davies, and on the stats, he had good stats. But yeah, Emerson, I thought he was involved in the game a lot, defensively, attacking wise. He's never been short of confidence. That's for sure.
That's why I struggle to see what he gave to Ben Davies. Look, don't get me wrong. I think he had a decent game. I think he had a good game. I think, I've seen a burst of pace from him that I didn't think he had it in him. He done well in the final third, but I thought Emerson was just better. He got stuck in defensively. And going forward, he was always a winning runner, always there to support other people. I thought he was better than Davies. I don't understand why they gave it to Davies.
It's been a while since we've complimented both wingbacks too, though.
Yeah, well, Emerson, I don't remember him making any errors. Ben Davies had one cross that went just didn't go in at all, and another one I think had a shot which he probably should have crossed. But he had a solid game. But I think it must have been based on stats, because on Sky they showed his stats, and he's like ranked first in this and second in that and third. So maybe it was involved in that. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty consistent game. I don't think anyone really, to me, no one really had outstanding games or really bad games.
Is Ben Davies the solution for left wing back against Chelsea? Do you think, Brad? Because that's been a problem position for us.
I wouldn't have thought so. No, I think he played there through necessity. I think Perisic, obviously Sessegnon's injured. Perisic, I think, being the age he is, probably needed a rest. And he hasn't played well the last couple of games, so I think that was probably they used Davies in that respect. So I think this weekend against Chelsea, I think they've got to go for it. They've got this. As someone said in the chat, this is the best time to get Chelsea, but we've seen that before, haven't we? But I think they. I
said that earlier on in the season.
Yeah, I think we really have to get at them, and maybe that was why Perisic was rested yesterday to play him against Chelsea. And then, despite how Emerson's playing, I think, Porro, probably needs to play at the right wing back just to give us that width and that sort of thing. Because Emerson, someone actually brought up the point, Emerson sort of drifts in a lot when he plays at right wing back. And I think that actually throws a lot of teams off, because they think, what's he doing there? And also, you don't think, well, who's going to mark him when he does that? So maybe that allows Kulusevski more space. So it's interesting. I haven't seen Porro play yet, so
let me ask you this on Chelsea, Brad. Look, what's the issue when it comes to Chelsea? Is it just the fact that they've, especially since Abramovich here, that they've just had better, vastly superior quality players than us, or is it got to a point where it's just a mental block? It's like, no matter what form Chelsea are in, they're just always beat us. So what's the problem when it comes to Chelsea?
I think it's a bit of both. I think in the past they've had top players, and you can't argue with getting beaten by a side that that's better than you and that sort of thing. So, but I think in recent years when they haven't been so good, I think the mental thing comes into it, because we have the same mental block at the Emirates. Doesn't matter how we're playing, we go to the Emirates and we just freeze. You know, we have it until last season. Same thing at Liverpool as well. We never win up at Liverpool. You know, we always get beat there. So it is a mental thing. I think people tend to forget how big a mental thing is in any sport. But again, they need to get the breaks. You know, get that early break, score first, get the crowd behind you. You know, I think we drew 1-1 against Chelsea in the League Cup in an empty stadium, and Lamela scored. That's the only time we've scored against Chelsea in the new ground. So, you know, and that was 3 or 4 minutes from the end. So we've got to get at them, get that early goal. Then the crowd gets involved. Then the team gets confidence. And the way Chelsea are playing at the moment, you know, they've got about 40 million players in their squad. So it takes time for that to sort of, you know, to gel. So now's the time that we got to go and beat them. It's just unfortunate that they're on such a bad streak that it's.
I know, even losing against Southampton, you're almost just like, I wish they drew. Like, I wish they drew. Even.
But then, by the other token, we haven't beaten them in a long time, so we're due to beat them. So I think we can. Or I still think, for me anyway, the most important game of the season comes a few days later when we play Sheffield United in the FA Cup, because that is a winnable competition. I really think so. So.
Yeah. Look, you know, we beat Sheffield United, we get a kind draw, all of a sudden we find ourselves in a semi-final.
Exactly.
Big up,
and you know what?
You in the building. Hopefully you enjoyed the result yesterday. Because
Holly, I've tweeted you anyway, but Holly, congratulations, match of the day debut.
Match of the day. Fair play on that.
I sort of switched it on today. I thought, that's Holly.
That's mad. That's mad. Fair play to her. That's out there doing bits. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Brad, tell people what's going on over here at Blue Sofa Songs.
Right, Blue Sofa Songs. There's a song comes on every 2 weeks, Friday at 5 p.m. There's one due this Friday, which was supposed to be working on today, but I never got around to it. But yeah, working on a new song. Go and have a look. If you're going to watch 2 songs, look at my first one and then look at my last one and see if you can see any improvement in that. But yeah, it's anyone that doesn't know, I'm just basically trying to write songs. So they're all my lyrics, they're all my music, bit of guitar, bit of a drum machine, bit of a bass, you know, that sort of thing. So sometimes the songs work and I think I'm really pleased with them. Sometimes I think, well, that didn't work, but it's all trial and error. You just got to try and improve. But if you can go on there, give me a like, subscribe, you know, and do all the stuff that you do for, you know, so it's not football related. It's something totally different. It's another passion of mine. But yeah, if you could do that, be actually brilliant. I've actually got one thing I have to say, which I thought about the other day. Now, have I told you about Central District's football team? No. I might have done, but you probably forgot. So I followed a Australian rules team in Australia.
Yes, you told us last week.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I had another thought the other day, was that we have employed at Tottenham, we employed Mourinho, won everything with every club. First club, he doesn't win anything, us. We employed Conte, won everything with every club. So far, anyway, hasn't won anything. In Australian rules football, there was a coach called Neil Curley. He won with 3 or 4 clubs. He took a team called West Adelaide, took them to win everything, or win it that year. Central Districts employed him as their coach. Did he win anything with us? No, he won. Cool. So the parallels continue between.
We're starting to become the problem, Brad. Then,
yeah,
the looks of things.
The 2 teams I support, you know, passionately. You know, the same things happen. The parallels are there.
Poor man.
It's painful. It's like all the teams I support. The team, you know, my county in Gaelic football, my country in the soccer. I mean, it's painful. It's painful, but I firmly believe I've got to go through all this pain because one day it's all going to come together. Because they're winning all Ireland. You know, Tottenham will win a Premier League and Ireland will win a European Championship.
Yeah. And it'll be great. It'll be even better then because you
I'll enjoy it so much more. You know, we'll probably have to send out help warnings. Where's Dave?
I actually did fly to Australia in 2003, and I planned it so I'd be there for the grand final, and they won it. So I did actually get them to see them win the title. So hopefully that'll happen with Spurs. And as I say, the FA Cup that's winnable if we can avoid a couple of teams that we all know who they are until maybe the semi or final. Then it's a game that we can beat anyone on our day.
Yeah,
and we just have to hope that we can do that. I just hope the club or Conte and the staff actually look at that competition and think, yeah, we want to win this, rather than that'll hurt our top 4 ambitions. That sort of thing.
Yeah. A lot of people feel that way.
Brad, Big yourself up, my
Great
man.
call.
Guys.
This evening, and go and cure the rest of your hangover.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I need sleep. I need sleep. I bought myself. I actually ordered a pizza and then fell asleep. So woke up. Thought, shit, what happened to my pizza? Went and the guy had left it on the porch downstairs. So
wow!
Put it in the microwave. So.
What a night! What a night! Yeah. Good man.
Brad,
I haven't done that for a long time, but yeah.
See you soon. Good man, Brad.
Cheers,
great
guys.
call. Great call.
Great night. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. See you soon, Brad.
Love that. Love that. We've got 2 guests left. We're going to keep it moving. Let's get Michael on.
Bring him on here, Dave.
Michael, how are you keeping, my man?
Hey, lads. Hey. I'm fine. First of all, before we start, I really don't get what's the deal with all the celebration police, like ridiculing our fans for celebrating winning a North London derby. West Ham, you were shit. Hold that. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. Like, I don't get it. Fans cannot be happy because they won the game. Like, what's the deal with that, right?
We're Spurs fans after all as well. Like, we're supposed to get excited whenever wins.
Yeah, I don't get it. It was so nice to actually see that stadium happy and cheering for once. Because, like, for a long time, the atmosphere has been kind of like, meh. And honestly, in the first half, this match, it was also not good. But, we've won, we've celebrated, deal with it. You lost.
I've seen it on social media, Michael. I've even seen some of our own fans ridiculing our fans for seeing West Ham get battered everywhere they go and stuff like that. It's like, what people need to understand is we know there's problems going on with Tottenham. Everybody's well aware of what's going on. But, wins have been very few and far to come by since October. So, I keep saying to people, there's no midweek game to ruin our buzz. Enjoy this week. Enjoy being a winner.
Exactly.
Enjoy the big. It's what football's about, right? You go into every single game wanting to win. So all them celebration police out there, go and do one. You're not going to piss on my parade or piss on my cornflakes, because if you do, I'll just add milk and sugar, make them taste good, and I'm still going to enjoy them. So it doesn't really matter. But Michael, yesterday's game, big smile on your face. It's great to see. What are your what do you take away from that game yesterday?
Honestly, I think it's been one of the worst West Ham teams we've faced in a long time. And I don't really mean like personnel wise, because when you actually look at the team sheet and they also had some players out, right? But if you look at the names of the players that they have, it's actually one of the better West Ham teams, right? But I have no clue what's going on with David Moyes and his setup. I think it's been absolutely clapped. Pretty much most of the managers in the Premier League know that our defense is susceptible to getting pressed, and our goalkeeper takes an age to takes 5 years to get down to defend the ball that's shot low, right, and powerful. So why haven't they tried anything? They literally went with 5 defenders and 3 defensive midfielders. There was no danger throughout the whole game. It was so nice to watch because I was actually chilled throughout the whole game, right? We got a little bit of a scare in the 40th second or whatever with the Bowen shot, right? But other than that, I wasn't concerned at all during that game, right? And even though there were some defensive mishaps with our defense, but not as dangerous as they normally are, right? So yeah, I think we listen. The issues that we have with our team are still there, right? But West Ham are so shit that they actually could not exploit any of the weaknesses that we have, right? So yeah, I loved it. We won London Derby. That's 3 points in the bag. We are fourth.
Would you say then, Michael, not to get too gassed up by the clean sheet then, because West Ham looked to have real trouble scoring goals, so maybe not look too much into the clean sheet we kept?
I think, listen, yeah, they didn't really trouble us, but I think a clean sheet is still a clean sheet. If you are a defender or a goalkeeper, you can take some pride in keeping a clean sheet, right? Even though they didn't really put any danger in front of us, right? I still think that for Forster, for example, it's his 2nd or 3rd game, right? And he actually is starting to hopefully get some rhythm. And after a battering we got at Leicester, I think keeping a clean sheet against West Ham is important, right? Because it can give you that tiny bit of confidence, stability and whatever. And I think same thing with defense, right? If they keep like performing up to a, like, let's say, average standard, that actually keep some clean sheets instead of conceding 2 goals a game like we did for 15 games or 12 games or whatever it was, right? Actually, when you start getting clean sheets, I think it's important, right? And again, like, listen, let's not go over the top. I think setup wise, it's seriously one of the worst West Hams I have watched in a long time. And thankfully, because we sometimes have issues with them, like for our own stupidity, we suffer with them, right? But yeah, I am buzzing with the win. As I said, I haven't been concerned during the game, and I am really happy that we've won. Yeah, really brilliant game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm delighted. It was a much needed win, and so it kind of makes us then think further, right, Michael? Is like with Chelsea, it's the team that we continue to have Hoodoo against. It's the team that no matter what situation, no matter how confident we go into this, we always are really worried about that game. So a lot of the questions that we've kind of been asking people is, do you change something? Do you not change a thing? Like, what do you do with Chelsea, right? Do you like keep Davies at left wing back? Do you maybe start Sonny instead of starting Richie? Like, how do you go about it against Chelsea? Do you not change a thing, or do you change maybe some things?
Like a bit of a short story, because you probably maybe remember that my brother supports Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
So
the game
actually, whenever like Spurs versus Chelsea game comes up, I try to make it to my family home, right? And I will be there next weekend, right? And I swear to God, since I've started supporting Spurs, we've only won once against Chelsea, which was the Carabao Cup tie with Mourinho, if you remember. And this was the only tie that I wasn't at my family home, and literally every single one that I was, Chelsea won against us, right? So usually, like, my brother is like there is, we aren't English, there isn't really like that rivalry or whatever, right? But he is kind of like cocky, about it, that 3-point play, whatever, right? I swear to God, he's shitting bricks before that game. Literally, he wrote to me that there is no fucking way they are going to win, and I've never seen him like that, right? The issue is, so am I. Like, it's so stupid, because I will never say with confidence that we are going to beat Chelsea, just because of the history, right? I think we spoke about it once or twice. You can say that this whole boogie team you think is fake or whatever, right? There is a reason why we beat City like pretty much every year, right? There is a reason why we lose against Chelsea, because I think so far with the previous Chelsea teams, they've been set up perfectly to beat us, right? Their team is kind of like a counter to ours, right? I think they've been overall better than us for majority of the previous years, right? And I think that stylistically they've been set up well to beat us, right? This time I think there can be something brewing there, but as I said, I will never say with confidence we are going to slap Chelsea, because that's Chelsea, right?
My fear is, Michael, that it's the sort of game where it could end up rallying them together, it could end up spurring
exactly.
I've got a very uneasy feeling about this weekend. It's set up for Tottenham to absolutely blitz Chelsea and maybe get Potter sacked, but our history against Chelsea is appalling. But look, I asked Brad before that, why do you think that is? Is it down to the caliber of player they've had since the Abramovich era over what we've had? Or is it down to just, at this point, it's just a mental block?
I think, if you look at it throughout the years, right? We've played under Pochettino. We've played the 4-2-3-1, let's say, majority of the time, 4-3-3. Sometimes different variations, but generally that sort of formation, right? And I think, whereas we often kept a lot of the ball and we created dangerous situations, that sort of formation, how high octane pressing, it's really susceptible to individual mistakes and getting countered on. And I feel like often against Chelsea we just got countered on, and they had clinical finishers, they had better defenders than us that actually could keep a clean sheet or keep us at bay. Then when we switched to Mourinho, right? I think we played this really like defensive football, but so did they. So we kind of like nullified each other. I think under Mourinho, I think it was like 0-0 draw and 1-0 defeat or something like this, right? Basically extremely low scoring games. Both teams were playing really defensive, etc. Right? Then under Conte, we've played a 3-4-3 against them, and so did Tuchel. And let's not like shit about, they had way better players than ours. So literally they played the same system as us, but with way better players. You are going to lose that, right? Every single time you are going to lose if you play exactly the same system, the same way. But they have better players, right? So I think, as I said, generally speaking, I think tactically they've been like well set up to counter us. The same way Arsenal is well set up to counter them. Sometimes I feel like so that there is this like a circle of teams that beat each other, right? As I said, there is a reason why we beat City every time, right? Because we are this like low block, solid defensively team, and they try to do that old tiki-taka shit. 8 players in our box, we get one ball, put it into Sonny, and they have one-on-one against their defenders, and that's how we score goals against them, right? So I think there is that, but also I think we've said this plenty of times. If you try to do something X amount of times and you fail X amount of times, which is like you try to defeat Chelsea and you lose every single fucking time you like come up against Chelsea, right? It gets to your head. I think it is a bit like in our players' heads. But I think, like, for example, the draw that we took at their ground, I think it's important, right, in that context, right?
That does help psychologically. Yeah.
I know we've shithoused the win, the draw there, right? It felt like a win, to be honest.
We won the mental battle. It felt like after that.
But as we said, it is important, right, to get that like slight edge over. If we slap them now, hopefully, right, then maybe we can, it can give us even more like confidence at whatever, right? So I think it's mentally, it's tactically, we kind of like feel inferior to Chelsea, in my opinion. But there like every record is there to be broken, right? So I'm waiting for the Chelsea win, and as I said, my brother is shitting bricks.
I'll be honest. I don't know how you don't hate your brother right by now, because every time them games come around, I'd be if I had a brother, I'd absolutely hate him. But Michael, look, two London derbies, beating Chelsea would be a good catalyst towards the last part of the season. How do you think this season's going to pan out looking at it? Because we spent some time in bad form, not winning games, still hovering in and around Champions League spots. Now we're in top 4, still got the FA Cup to come. Second leg against Milan, we have to turn them over and turn over the 1-0 deficit. How do you think the second half of the season is going to pan out?
It's for me, it's really hard to predict. With Spurs, we all know that, right? We don't know which team will come out, right? Because if you look at performances against like City and West Ham like yesterday, right? You would think that we actually can like do something this season. I don't necessarily mean win a trophy or whatever, right? But go far in the FA Cup, go like far, maybe like go through Milan in the Champions League, secure the 4th place. But then again, it really wouldn't surprise me if we shut the bet against Sheffield and got knocked out, right? It's the usual Tottenham thing, right? But I think I've stated this plenty of times. Like what I care about the most this season is the FA Cup, because I actually think we can do something there, and by something I mean we can actually reach a final or possibly win it, just because of how many teams have been knocked out already. The only thing I really don't want us to meet United along the way, because as we've discussed with Chelsea, we have the same Hoodoo with United. They, especially in cup games, they always seem to turn us over. And if it's at Old Trafford, forget it, right? Forget it. We aren't winning at Old Trafford in a cup tie, right? So I really want us to like dodge United, and with City, I would be kind of like scared if we got them in the final, because like in the final they kind of seem to have a number on us. In final it's different, right? But along the way, listen, of course I want to go like, Sheffield, then Bristol, then, other team, then, reach the final that way. Why not, right? But you will have to face at least one of those teams along the way. Yeah, so
good.
But as I said, I think we can actually do something in the FA Cup, because I literally don't see a reason why we shouldn't reach a semi-final or a final unless we meet one of the other big teams along the way earlier and get knocked out by them. But then shit happens, right? As I said, you have to meet one of those teams anyway along the way. So yeah, that's that. In terms of Champions League, I don't know why, but I have kind of a bad feeling about that Milan tie. I just the way we played the first game against them, and the way they, because I actually watched extended highlights of their game against who was the last game they played in the Serie A? Not Torino, Spezia, I think, or no. They've won. Sorry, let me check quickly. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They've won 1-0 again, right? Against a team in the Serie A, and the way I look at it, they've actually, by going to a back three, they really shored up defensively, and I'm just really scared that we won't score a goal, because let's be honest, our front three isn't really top-notch firing, going full, throwing kitchen sink at it, right? They kind of seem a bit off form, and I am really scared that we are just won't be able to penetrate their defense, right? And it will end like a 0-0 or something stupid like it, right? That's why I have kind of a bad feeling about Milan. But on the other hand, I really it wouldn't surprise me if you won 2-0, right? Because as I said,
it's also the Champions League, and it's also just, high stakes,
the atmosphere in the stadium. As you said, high stakes, pressure. It not only gets to our players, but it can also get to their players, right?
Exactly.
So there is that. And in terms of league, I think, listen, just because of how, Monza, right? It was Monza. So just because of how bad the other teams around us are, right? I think we are a prime candidate to finish fourth. I don't think we will be able to catch United. I think they are playing too well this season for us to catch them, and there is a point cushion already between us. So I don't think we will be able to catch them. I think top three will be that top three that it is currently, right, in whichever order you put them in. And I think, listen, there is Newcastle, I think, competing with us. And actually, I know some people maybe will laugh about it, but I think Liverpool will be back in the fight for top four. Again, I don't know why, but the way I've looked at them when they won against Newcastle, it wasn't pretty, but they've won. They've gained points on Newcastle. A lot of their players are coming back from an injury, right? So I think there can be some sort of a galvanized effect in their team, which I really fear. So I think it will be between those three clubs, Newcastle, us, and Liverpool. But what I put hopes in is that we have a really nice point cushion over Liverpool, even though they have games in hand, right? Games in hand. But still, I think that the point cushion is there. I don't see a reason why we can shithouse a draw again at Anfield, because this Liverpool team, even if they get all those players back, they aren't really the Liverpool team of old. So I don't see a reason why we can't shithouse a draw at their ground. And
we've been quite successful against them under Conte, so I have a feeling that maybe we have their number, to a degree. We seem to have something slightly figured out against them. So I actually go into that one more confident than I do other games, Michael. But
so to conclude, I think we can get top four unless something stupid happens, one more injury to a crucial player, or or we shit ourselves again.
Striker's path, or
honestly, we're capable of stupid things happening. So
and that's really unfortunate. But what can you do, right?
You know what? My only hope, Michael, is that Dyer, Davies, they can sort of find the form that they finished last season off with.
Exactly.
And that can too. So, look, at the end of the day, we're still in it. I don't think any decision will be made on Antonio Conte's immediate future until all the Champions League, the FA Cup game, and that is out of the way. So, look, let's enjoy it. Let's see where it can bring us. But, Michael, Really appreciate your time this afternoon, my man.
Appreciate you, my friend.
Evening. Sorry, this evening.
Yeah,
you're an hour after us again, so tonight.
Yeah, it's midnight. It's midnight already at my place, right? But yeah, I'm a night owl, so I don't really mind staying up late, right? So yeah, like as you said, David, just Spurs fans just enjoy it, right? Like sometimes I feel like a lot of us forget that football is about like enjoying the sport, right?
Yeah.
And if you are happy that we won, just be happy that we won. For fuck's sake, like just don't think about it too much. We won against West Ham. Enjoy it.
3 points is 3 points.
As you said, this week there is no midweek game. We can enjoy it until we face against Chelsea. What's up with me mistaking teams today? I don't know. Enjoy it until we face against Chelsea. If we win against them, go fucking ballistic. We deserve it. Fuck F Chelsea, right? Fuck this club. I really like hate Chelsea with all my passion. I actually think I hate Chelsea more than Arsenal sometimes. Seriously, like.
Don't blame you. A lot of people do feel similar, about the Chelsea, and also you got even a Chelsea fan in the family, Michael. So look forward to that preview. Hopefully you could speak with us Friday, maybe as well. Give us a bit of a Chelsea preview then. Great call, Michael. Well done, my friend.
See you guys. Thank you for letting me in. And as I said, come on, you Spurs. Enjoy the win, and let's talk soon.
Spurs. Crack open a beer, Michael. Enjoy the winning feeling. You might not get it for another few weeks.
Oh, Jesus, please win against Sheffield. Fuck, please win against Sheffield.
I hope so, but you never know at this football club, Michael. But look, great call in, my man, and enjoy the vibes. I like the point you started off with, by the way, about enjoying the game. Really like that, my man. Michael, we'll speak again soon.
Speak again.
Thank you, for guys. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, love that. Love that. Another good call in, Michael. Always good call-ins every time he rocks up. Absolutely.
Celebration police. I like that. Celebration police.
Yeah. What a way to start as well. What a way to start. We'll be blessed with the calls today. We've got William Kelly. He says, big up Davey and Jack. Great win. He's booked his flights home yesterday, so I'm coming home. Yes. It's been 6 years. Way too long. I can come on the show at the end if have time. Look, William, my man, first of all, congratulations getting home. It's not cheap from Australia. I look forward to meeting up with you, brother. Hopefully we can go out for dinner or something like that. I want my big cockerel as well, by the way. I need it behind me. So absolutely love that. And I look forward to seeing you, brother. Look, hopefully we can get you over to the Spurs Stadium for a game. That would also top it off. That would be nice. And yeah, look, the Emerald Isle is waiting for you, William. It's waiting for you, my man.
Are you taking the missus with you as well, William, or maybe taking the new special one with you? You may be showing her as well, like maybe the old stomping grounds, showing her where the original Kelly was growing up, where he was, maybe kicking a football about, throwing some stones, and things like that. Pick yourself up, William Kelly, and I hope she enjoys, maybe your little tour of the old stomping grounds.
If you want to give her the family history, man, just sit her down and get her to watch Ned Kelly. What a movie that is, The Australian Outlaw. That's what you are, William, the Australian Outlaw. Big up, my man. Yeah, look, if you want to come on, I'll send you the link, brother. And because we still got Tyler and Ellie as well, so I'll send you the link, my man. Just give me 2 seconds. But look, keep this moving. I'll be back in 1 sec, Jacko.
All right, no worries at all. No worries at all. We'll get on to Tyler next. Pick yourself up, William Kelly. Do appreciate support, my friend. And then we also have Lazy 8 in the house as well. Just saying, Harris Army presente. Harris Army represent. That's what we're doing, Nick. Pick yourself up, my friend. Thanks for tuning in tonight as well. We're going to go on to our friend Tyler here. Let's see what he has to say. You there, Tyler? There he is.
How you doing, Jack?
Doing okay, my friend. Doing okay. Post-bubble blower derby with the 2-0 win. A clean sheet, surprisingly, as well. I mean, What do you have to say? What's on your mind now?
Yeah, I mean, not much to complain about. I like what Michael was saying. Everyone should be happy right now.
Take it 3 points, he said. Just take it.
Clean sheet as well. I mean, if anytime we get a clean sheet, I'm gonna be extremely happy because it's been very rare. So, and especially in a London derby, it was great.
Exactly right. And I do see where he's coming from on that, where it's just like, listen, like times have not been easy with Spurs. Like we aren't in the most convincing side in the league right now. Just live with the fact that we aren't going to be, a team that's, going to be winning games, left and right. We're not going to be the most dominant team in the league. So these wins in these London derbies, just take them, be happy about them. You don't need to even know. I don't even think Michael was saying overanalyze it or don't take any big conclusions from it. Just be happy with the win.
Another amazing performance from Emerson. I mean, I don't know what's gotten into the guy. He's all over the pitch. At the end, he had two incredible slide tackles back to back. Skip even. I want to give a little apology to Skip because I think he did silence me a little bit, but
proving some haters wrong again. Skippy is
obviously I still don't think he's the most technical player, and he doesn't offer much going forward. He looks kind of lost sometimes when he gets the ball around the box, but he still had another solid performance, so I'm not going to complain about that. I was upset though that Sarr did not start, but some people were saying that he got a knock. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I feel like from the get-go, we were given something from Paul O'Keefe that Skippy was going to be playing, in this match, ahead of Sarr. Yeah. I originally did not really sort of. It's not, I thought Sarr was actually the better pick for that game. But do you feel like Skippy maybe just showed that that simple, kind of that clean? He's just a simple, hardworking midfielder, and maybe that's what sometimes gets a bit unnoticed and maybe a bit sort of underappreciated, is that while he might not be as technically gifted and as nice to watch as Papa Matasar, he still can do a job. Skippy.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the lineup, I saw Skip in there instead of Sarr. I saw we were playing 4 center backs, almost 5, because Emerson is more defensive sometimes, but he's been doing better getting forward. Obviously, that finish was perfect. He stayed so composed and just tucked it away. And then Davies coming
Some
up.
People said a striker's finish from Emerson. I don't know about going that far, but it did look cool, calm, and collected. He just passed it in.
Yeah, no, I was definitely worried, and then not that we were like amazing, we weren't like crazy out there, but I think Sarr, if Sarr was there, we would have probably created a little more chances, but who knows? Maybe we wouldn't have kept a clean sheet. I don't know.
Do you feel like West Ham? It looked like they were trying not to let us get in behind them, right? It felt like they wanted, to stop any sort of counterattack, any sort of kind of moment where we could have stretched the defense and, try to get in behind, their back line. But actually, the goal that we ended up scoring was, a through ball to Ben Davies and then on to Emerson. Yeah. So we eventually did. So what did you make maybe? Were Spurs lucky maybe to get that goal, or is that maybe just was eventually coming, enough pressure and eventually West Ham were going to concede?
I mean, definitely not lucky. I mean, that was just pure skill from Højbjerg. I mean, that pass was fantastic. A lot of people give him shit, but he does put good long balls in. He really does.
Mm-hmm. I think he has that eye for a pass that breaks the lines more than people give him credit for. He breaks the lines a lot with passes like that, I've noticed.
I mean, you see him for Denmark. He's one of their leading assisters. I see him on the score sheet getting assists all the time for them. I don't watch the game.
Tail end of last season, I remember he played some nice passes, over the top and through the lines to some players. Like, he's got that vision to be able to find people. He can play that direct pass, right, that can lead directly to a goal. He's not just going to be recycling it sideways, like you said.
Yeah. And then Davies.
Ben Davies, left wing back. Do you want to talk about that? Was that a successful experiment? Would you run it again against Chelsea?
I mean, with the way Perisic has been playing defensively, I'd be very scared to have him come. Like, I know the Chelsea haven't been finishing, but they still have had a lot of good attacks. So to see Perisic come up against their wingers, I think it would be very, very nerve-wracking the whole match. So I think, Davies again, I would start.
I'm hesitant to play Perisic in the next one too, just because even if you ask me, Tyler, there was moments where the moment even Perisic came into the game against West Ham all of a sudden got a chance or two, down his side. So it just feels like Chelsea, they're going to offer a lot more, going forward than West Ham are. West Ham, at the end of the day, are a very defensive side. They didn't really try very hard to get forward. They just tried to get us on the counter. I feel like that means Ben Davies is probably a better option, considering Chelsea are obviously going to have more of the ball and Chelsea are going to try to attack more.
Yeah, I mean, and Perisic got burned a couple times, even when he got subbed in late. I was actually upset that we had subbed him in instead of Porro. If you're gonna make a sub like that, we're up 2-0, so we should have just stayed defensive. But if you are gonna make a sub like that, why not have given Porro the chance? Move Emerson to the left, maybe, or even play Porro on the left, because they're not gonna do a worse job defending than Perisic. I mean, I don't know what's going on with him. Perisic can't defend to save his life right now.
I think for the Chelsea game, because of the caliber of players they'll have coming down from wing back and stuff like that, I think you've got to play the more defensive mind player in Ben Davies. I never thought I'd ever say that, to be honest with you, when it came to Ben Davies and Perisic. For this game coming up, I think you've got to play Ben Davies. I think you play Perisic, you open yourself up to a risk of balls coming down that left-hand side, coming in. You know, how many goals have we conceded down that side this season? So I can't believe I ever thought I'd say this, but there you are.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever see Davies in that left wing back position for us again, to be honest.
I still want him gone in the summer. Don't make no mistake about that.
Another successful experiment with Sonny too, would you say, Tyler? Would you maybe consider leaving him out against Chelsea?
You know, it's very tough to say. Like whether I say we should leave him out and we leave him out and he comes off the bench and scores again, or we start him and he scores, or we start him and he plays like crap again. Like, I mean, it's just like it's kind of like a guessing game at this point. What you don't know what you're gonna get from him. I mean, I did enjoy Richarlison at certain points. I didn't think he played bad. He didn't do much, but was he the one that dribbled into the West Ham defender's hand? Like that was a clear penalty. Was it him?
Yeah, that was Richarlison.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
so,
was Richarlison there.
He drew a penalty. I mean, that was 100% a penalty.
That was fair. That was his penalty.
I was flipping out. I was furious about that.
Yeah.
But
why do you think they didn't give it? What do you think the thinking behind it would be that they wouldn't give it? Because I mean, it's a bad penalty.
There's, I have no thinking of why they wouldn't give it. You know, it was clear. He had his hand all the way down there. It hit off his palm like perfectly. It's not like it tipped it or something. He stopped. Yeah. He stopped it. Like it should have been a penalty.
Yeah, may as well put goalkeeper gloves on the fucker at the end.
Exactly.
Of the day.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's a joke. What else have we got here in our locker in terms of talking points for you, Tyler? Marco Asensio, here's one. We haven't asked anybody this today, my man. It looks like he's ready to leave Madrid on a free come this summer. Is he a player you take at Tottenham?
You know, it depends. Like, it depends if we're willing to spend on other players, but if we're not, like thinking of what Levy usually does, I mean, it's not a bad pickup on a free signing. You know, I don't know how much he's going to want to ask for like his wages, but
because usually when you're on a free, because there's no transfer fee involved, you try and get at least some of that in a sign on or wages or whatever else.
But I mean, I've seen some absolutely brilliant finishes of his. Like,
he is a
really solid player. Yeah,
he has a good long shot on him. He's got a good hit on him.
I remember
absolute benders.
I remember when he was first coming in at Real Madrid. It was I'm pretty sure it was an El Clasico. He scored an absolute banger from outside the box.
Yeah,
so
there's that.
I would take him. Yeah, I wouldn't be complaining about it at all.
I'd be surprised if you could answer this, but maybe just to improve, maybe surprise Dave if you know anything about, the young Irish kids. Evan Ferguson, he's that guy who's Brighton's kind of young striker. I don't know if you watch enough of Brighton, but apparently he's being kind of looked at as the Harry Kane replacement. And let's be honest, Tyler, it's a conversation we don't want to have. You do kind of got to keep an eye on some Harry Kane replacements.
Yeah, no, I haven't really seen much of him, to be honest. I think I seen him got subbed on in one of the games late. He didn't look bad at all, but I can't say anything about it, to be honest.
Maybe the last question I'll leave you with, or is there something maybe, Tyler, that you want to say before I leave you with another question?
No, I was just gonna say, we still have some guys lined up like Jamie Donnelly and Dane Scarlett and Troy Parrott.
True. True.
Hopefully one, and the new guy we got from Chelsea, Jude Sunsup Bell, right?
Yep.
And don't forget Will Lancashire that we signed from Sheffield United as well.
So we have plenty of options. You know, we only need one of them to be, you know, at least decent to replace Kane. You know, when he ends up retiring or leaves, but we're definitely gonna need to buy someone. I think. I don't know. We're gonna have to buy someone for sure.
You'd like to think, though, with the 4 or 5 kids plus Jamie Donnelly coming through as well, you'd like to think they've casted their net wide enough to at least have some sort of player that can come through and maybe offer the goals that Harry offers.
Yeah, I mean, at least one of them end up being like as good as like an Ivan Toney or, you know, someone like that. That doesn't have to be completely world class, but hopefully one of them turns up being at least a solid squad player for us, if not a starter.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with the likes of Dane Scarlett. You know, Troy Parrott. I think there's probably a decision to be made this summer on whether you see him actually making his way into the Tottenham team or whether you have to cash in. Scarlett, look, he might get another loan move or two, I think, before we properly decide on him. But you'd like to think that maybe one of them will come true. That would be nice. But Jack, you said you had another question?
I had one more question for you here, Tyler, and it did have something to do with Dave's little rant on the podcast today. What did you make of the fact that maybe somebody like Sonny, right, has made no excuses for himself for maybe him kind of falling off form this season, not hitting the same heights that he did last season? Sonny didn't come up with any excuses of like Perisic getting in his way or Antonio Conte, right, changing his role a little bit or his tactics. He actually just basically sort of just took full ownership of it. How would you compare that maybe to like how Hugo, right, didn't take much ownership of the mistakes he's made this season, or how like Ben Davies and Eric Dyer, we know in the past, don't take ownership and things like that? Isn't that kind of interesting that someone like Sonny, right, who probably deserves more excuses than other people, right? I mean, he's a huge player for us. He's a top player. I feel like he has a right to give excuses more so than other people, yet he didn't give one.
Yeah, because not only is he a world-class player, he has a world-class mentality. He wants to be scoring goals and assists left and right. That's what he does. He's been doing it for years for us. He knows how good he is, and he knows that he's not playing well. Like, I mean, just because you're not world-class, like if Ben Davies and Dyer and Winks, if they had great mentalities, it wouldn't be an issue. It would overcome. Look at Emerson. Emerson is not a very skilled footballer at all, but his mentality is spot on.
He hasn't made excuses either. That's a good point.
He paid his own money to get better. I mean, he's working his butt off, and it's showing. It's showing. Simple as that.
This is all we can ask for some of these guys, Tyler. Right? You know, is come in, try your best, not look to blame everything around you. I mean, these guys are lived in gated off communities. They've got swimming pool and gyms in their house. They've got the best of mattresses to sleep on, all the best of equipment to make their daily life easier. They come to Tottenham away. They've got their meals cooked for them. You know, they've got the best of the facilities there. Heck, if they want to get away from the family for a night, they can go and stay in Hotspur Lodge. You know what I mean? And to hear these players come out with excuses drives me absolutely insane. Sometimes just hold your hands up. What I want going forward is a squad of people that when things aren't going well, they come out and say, look, no excuses. This is on me. That's all I want.
Yep. There is no excuse. The amount of money these guys are being paid, and it's sad that the amount of money we have paid them for doing absolutely nothing for us. Yeah. Like it makes no sense, the amount of money we gave Harry Winks, and you know the amount he's been talking lately. I mean, he's such a little prick. Oh my God.
You know my feelings. I put it in the group chat that evening, twat Winks. I mean, blames absolutely everybody but himself. And it's like, I want respect. Kind of like, well, I mean, if you learn to pass the ball forward and you learn to turn and you weren't such a scaredy cat, you might actually get a bit of respect. How about you think about that one? But you know what? He hasn't even bothered. So let him keep making excuses. Before he knows it, he's going to be 33 and he's going to go, shit, where did my career go? And then I'm going to sit there and say, Well, I tried telling you, I tried warning you. All you want to do is cry. So tough shit. You know, I don't care for these players that make the excuses anymore. I've no time for them. Heard too much of it over the last 3-4 years. You know, I honestly, they're short of blaming, you know, their socks not being white enough. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm fucking fed up with it.
And that's what I'll give to Skip. I think he does put in a lot more effort. He's trying to get better. He's not that much more skilled than Winks, in my opinion, but he does put his effort in 100%. And
we haven't heard him complain in the background or anything like that.
You haven't heard him complain at all. Not at all.
Fair point again, Tyler. Great answer, honestly. Great answer.
Big up, Tyler. Big up, my man. And look,
great
thanks
call.
for your time this evening, this afternoon, whatever time it. Well, this afternoon for you, my man. Thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll speak again soon. Maybe before the Chelsea game, if you're around Friday.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Ellie for closing this out. Thank you for waiting so much. Sorry about that.
No. Look, don't worry about that. We've got William Kelly next before Ellie closes it out, and then we are done. Take it no more. But,
I'm ready. I'm ready to hear what she has to say about that Højbjerg pass.
Exactly right.
I'm ready for that.
I can't wait either. You know, I'd say she was absolutely buzzing yesterday. Absolute buzzing. But Tyler, thank you very much, sir.
Great call, Tyler. Top man.
Have a good one, guys. Have a good one, chat. Later.
See you soon, brother.
See you, Tyler. Big yourself up.
That was a great answer he had on the final question, I must say. That was a great answer.
Yeah, he got me going anyway, that's for sure. But look, let's keep this moving
Get the Kelly on here, Dave. Get the there he is. Get Claire Danes on.
How you doing, boy? I'm very good. How are you?
Good. Any more trips back to your clairvoyant?
No, I haven't, Davey. No. I gave you all the information you needed.
No, let's see how it works. We need to send you back. We need to know how this season's going to end.
I told you how the season's ending.
Well, trophy.
Remind me again.
Trophy.
I listen. You know, I remember what you said, William Kelly. You know,
I know you do. I know you do, Jack. I know you do.
But also, I do remember this too, William Kelly, because there has been still some rumors. There's still been some stories around the takeovers, the potential bids and interest. You know, in the Tottenham Hotspur. You remember you told me that you said there would be a powerful woman, I think, that would take over eventually for Daniel Levy.
Yes.
So I haven't seen any links to some, you know, kind of consortium group or anything that's led by a powerful lady. But by the looks of things, the rumors of Levy selling up aren't going away. The rumors aren't going away.
No, I genuinely think, Jack, that any bid that comes in, they're not going to accept it. I think it's going to be passed on to his daughter. And I think that's the powerful woman coming in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it looks like it's going to be. I think Lewis wants way more than what other people are going to pay, basically. And I think he'll hold on to it for another 4 or 5 years, and it'll pass on to the daughter.
So you think all this speculation surrounding Tottenham over the last maybe year, you've got Forest Lee, you've had QSI, and you've had Jamie Dodgers. Do you think, so you think all of that is probably just hearsay? It's never going to happen?
It's PR. It's PR. It's all PR, David. Every bit of it.
Why do you say that? Tell me why.
PR, because when something bad happens at a club, to deflect away from the badness and what's going on, to take the heat off Levy and to take the heat off the club, they use PR stunts.
So you don't
every time there's something not, the fans are not happy, what do you think they do? They're very clever in how they do it. They're as good as politicians, man.
Look, I don't doubt that one bit, to be fair to you, but what I'd say to you, William, is look, the fact that we've heard from journalists that he has met with QSI. We know for a fact they did meet with Forest Lee out in the Bahamas last December when he was rumoured. They haven't met this Jam the Jaffe guy. So you think, like, my opinion is no smoke without fire, but you're telling me definitely it's not the case, it's PR.
Well,
I don't think so. Look, this is my opinion. It's my opinion. I don't think so. Let's be honest. All these millionaires and billionaires, they all know each other. Do you think they don't all hang around in the same circles? Of course they know each other. They know of each other. They know each other. They're friend circles. They meet up all the time. Look, it's a different world to what we live in. But I still think a lot of it is PR.
And this also isn't, though, like you being an ITK or anything, William. This is just you kind of using your own sort of beliefs and opinions combined with, let's be honest, the clairvoyant and what she's told you. You know, it's a combination of the two here. It's what she's told you.
Well, that's all I'm going on, Jack. Yeah, exactly. Like, I just think like he wants an astronomical fee for Tottenham.
Okay.
And I think a lot of these ones aren't going to pay that astronomical fee. You know, that's where the problem lies.
I'll be honest. Look, I don't really chastise them for wanting an astronomical fee because
no, of course not.
You know, it is what it is at the end of the day. I just question who has the sort of money they want. But like I said this earlier,
that's the problem.
I said this earlier. I think if the right money came in, they would evaluate it and they'd probably sell. Because I think the way they'll look at it is if the right money comes in, like how much further can football finances really be pushed? Surely you're looking at it now and saying it's either reaching the ceiling or it's already reached it. So I don't think they'll ever find a more profitable time to sell, or someone, a better time to sell where the money's so high for the club right now. Be interesting to see what happens. EL279 says, guys, really appreciate the podcast, but it's quite hard to hear. Are you talking about the podcast that we uploaded earlier or this fan show? Do let me know, because I need to know these things, my man. I really do need to know these things. So look, we won't bother talking anymore about the takeover, so, because you definitely think it's not going to happen. So
you can talk about it, Davey. I'm fine talking about it, but I just personally think it's all PR stunts. I really do, and I think they always bring it out at the right time. It's just clever. It's clever, and all the clubs do it. They all do it. They're all the same. But I just think, me personally, I don't think there's a takeover coming. I think that because they're looking for a fee that's just beyond what's going to be offered, basically. And I think we'll have Enoch, unfortunately, for a little bit longer.
Yeah. Look, I hope the takeover happens, but like I said to people, you can't jump at the first offer that comes in. You've got to make sure it's what's right for Tottenham, because I said this earlier, there's an opportunity there that someone could look at the club and say, all the additional revenue that comes in outside of football and season tickets and TV revenue and whatever else, they can still run the club on a self-sustainable model, but then look to really develop the infrastructure, because it comes with plan and permissions and stuff like that. So, we've got to make sure that this guy wants to have whoever it is, wants to have a successful team on the football pitch. That's what matters most to me.
And that's always the problem, isn't it? That's always the problem, Davey, because you just don't know what you're getting, Well,
William, a guy earlier on, Georgie, big up George, by the way, he put in the chat, he reckons we can still have success under Enoch. Now, my take on it was, I think we've missed that sort of mark for success under the Poch era. I thought perfect timing. A couple of clubs were in rebuild. That was sort of our chance, and I think we've missed that ball. Do you think there is any way we can be successful under Enoch over the next while?
Oh, look, I think we can win that FA Cup. I really do. I think, if you look at performances like against Manchester City and stuff, if we can just put in that sort of performance, against Manchester City in the FA Cup, we have as much chance as anybody else.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think, look, we've got to get over this Sheffield United game first, because it's games like that where I tend to start looking ahead where we end up slipping up. So I just want to get that game out the way first. But, if we can avoid maybe a Man City or a Man United in the next round, and hopefully they draw each other, I mean, it opens itself wide open for us, William. But what would you do then with the Sheffield United game? Because we've got Chelsea at the weekend, then Sheffield United midweek. Would you make any changes for that Sheffield United game?
I do. You can make small changes, but not very much. I still want to get through,
Some people think about resting Kane. Would you rest Kane?
Yeah, I'd also.
Oh, We'll give
Did
him a
I?
minute.
I felt like I like the moment I spoke. Then William, all of a sudden,
maybe his phone's gone dead or something. We'll give you another minute or two to get yourself back in here, my man. Take a few comments here quickly.
That's hilarious from Adrian Stroka. 4.5 billion is the Spurs stadium release clause. Just pay the money.
Love that. Aaron Dove says, "Is that Jack in the profile pic with the cam off California Jack surf dude?" Jack,
what it is, Aaron, is there was a while ago, a long time ago, it was in the likes of Oregon, for I think it was a solar eclipse, basically. And, you need those sort of goggles or those sort of, special, plastic glasses to see the solar eclipse and everything. So that was just a picture of me wearing them, before I saw it. So, it's just a picture I enjoy, and it's a picture I use for everything.
There you are, Aaron. There's your answer. Definitely looks like he's about to go and catch some waves for sure, my man. For sure. Look, we'll bring on Ellie. If William comes back in, we'll get him on again after Ellie. But look, let's bring on Ellie. Ellie, are you there? Ellie Heiberg.
Ellie, let us know if you're going camera off or something in the chat, maybe. Oh.
Yeah, I'm here, but I got to turn the light on. Sorry about that, lads.
No worries. No worries.
My cat from not fighting with my other cat.
It's like having children all over again.
Yeah, he's a bit of a bully boy. He's a bit like Romero.
Oh, no.
I think I'll change his name. Yeah. So I'm happy to be here anyway, because William's dropped off, hasn't he?
Yeah, you wanted to be the closer tonight, you said, Ellie.
He's probably gone to see his clairvoyant.
It's probably her who cut him off.
Yeah. Giving too many secrets away.
Well, look, Ellie, I think the first place to start is your big fan of Freiburg. What a true boy.
Who told you that?
Surgeon-like pass from Hoiberg.
I know. Yeah, what a great ball. I heard Tyler say that he wanted to hear my perspective on that. Well, Tyler, that was the best ball. Well, it wasn't actually the best ball that he's ever played. The best ball that he's ever played was that one that he looped over to Harry Kane against Leeds. But that one was really sharp. He saw the gap, bang to Davies, bang to Emerson, bang in the goal. Fantastic.
If anything, Ellie, actually, I do think the best ever Højbjerg pass never actually happened, and it was that one I was with you for it. He did that little scoop, I remember, at the top of the box towards the end of the game, and he actually Harry Kane, I remember, missed the chance, or Fabianski saved it or something like that. That was generally one of the best passes I've ever seen Højbjerg make, because he did like a Brazilian, like little scoop pass over the defense. It was gorgeous. But Ellie, he's often criticized for being a sideways merchant. I mean, proving yet again he's not, right? Another reason.
I know. I love him. I think he's brilliant. I answered somebody, they put on Twitter that Declan Rice said nobody likes Højbjerg. So I said, well, I bloody well do, so shut your gob.
It's a good thing that opposition players don't like our players. It means they're hard to play against, or they're mean to play against. It's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it's a good thing. Then they've got Romero just behind Højbjerg, who, if Højbjerg don't get them, Romero's going to get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. We need a bit of that in the team. And with Richarlison joining the ranks, we've got 3 shithouseries on the thing. And that little Skippy, he isn't far off them. He can get stuck in there, can't he? Yeah, I like the way he plays the other day.
I like the fact that Skip gets stuck in, He doesn't shark out challenges. Not the biggest guy, but he's not afraid to go in and clatter people bigger than him. That's what I absolutely love about him. You wouldn't see that other mix to it ever. Skip. Look, the two of them had a very good game up against West Ham. I was a bit worried about the midfield, because Souček and Rice is where West Ham are really strong, right?
Yeah.
The better of them. How good was the performance in midfield? It was, for me, I think it was the springboard.
I think it was the best performance of this season, actually, even better than Sarr and Skip in against Milan. Because we like Souček, he's like 6'3", 6'4", isn't he? And he's a mean beast. He can get about the pitch as well, and he always joins the attack, and he's always at the end of something, isn't he? So we done well to handle him. A little Skip and Højbjerg, we know Højbjerg's physical, but little Skip really impressed me. I thought he was brilliant. He didn't get all the plaudits, but in my book, I was watching him very closely because I didn't go to the match. I gave my ticket to my nephew. But do you know what? I think they worked their socks off, and we deserved to win those 2-0 games. Sorry, I thought we didn't just boss the midfield. I think we bossed defence. That was the best defensive performance I've seen from Spurs for a long chalk. Really, especially Longley. Longley was very impressive, and Davies as the left wing back, it worked.
Yeah, so many good points that you brought up there, Ellie. I think what Skippy for me is, I did ask people after the Milan game, like whether he silenced some haters, Ellie, like maybe he kind of, silenced some of the criticism that's been kind of circling about him. Feels like he's maybe done it again here.
Yeah, well, when you think about it, if you take yourself back a year or so when Nuno was in charge, he was like first choice, wasn't he, with Højbjerg? And they were forging a very good partnership. And then the sort of wheels fell off, and then he got injured, and then he got injured again. So the boys had a bit of bad luck. But now he wants to prove himself again. So we've got a player there that's got the criticism, and he wants to prove himself, which is a good thing. For it bodes well for our future that he's getting this stick. So he wants to make sure that he stamps his authority and makes that place his. Because a lot of people are calling for Pape Sarr to be the midfielder to be chosen with Højbjerg.
No, he proved it right, I think. And also, I think what Skippy maybe did and maybe reminded me of was I had called for Papa Sarr to play in that game. But maybe Skippy reminded me, Ellie, that sometimes what you do need, though, is just a guy that can do the simple things right. A guy that has no issue with working hard and just, outrunning everybody and putting in the hard challenges and just kind of doing, the side of the game that a lot of people are reluctant to do nowadays. And that's what Skippy clearly is good at. And we know Højbjerg is great at that as well. But perhaps that's what that game needed, was just two hardworking sort of midfielders more than anything. And Skippy can easily do that.
I would still argue that Papa Sarr is better on the ball than Skip, though.
Me too.
Definitely.
When I looked at the Milan game, I think when Papa Sarr was probably in the final third, I think he knew what to do with his passes left, right. He had a shot, right?
Yeah.
When I look at Skip, even though he had a good game yesterday, there's a couple of times he was in the final third. I thought he sort of panicked. He didn't really know what to do with it. I think against Bournemouth when he played, sometimes I think against AC Milan, I do think that is an area that Skip will need to develop if he wants to cement a place in a Premier League team.
Yeah, I agree with you there, David. I think, he's not got that much composure when he gets into the last third. He does look around. He's a bit tentative. Yeah, he's got to improve that part of the game. But do you know who else I was impressed with? Kulu in the second half. I thought he put in a wicked shift. All right, some of the things didn't come off for him because he's trying very hard to get through their defence because they know he's a marked man now, Kulu. Yeah. He's gone are the days where he's going to have freedom on the pitch because they mark him with 3 men sometimes. So he's got to beat the first man, second man. The third man normally gets him because they'll either tackle him on the line or... The only thing I would say, his crossing's a bit suspect lately. He's hitting it a bit too hard. Maybe he's trying too hard. I don't know. But I was impressed with his work rate in the second half, especially because the first half he was a bit anonymous.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think on the watch along, there was a couple of comments in the chat yesterday saying, Kulu staying on. That's a bit of a strange one. But I did make the argument. It's like, well, I mean, Kulu's created a couple of opportunities this half. Richarlison has sort of faded out.
You said he made a better effort in the second half, or he had a better impact.
Yeah,
he did.
You're right about him being marked. There was a couple of times actually yesterday, Declan Rice, was sort of tasked with coming out and going up against Kulu. And I think the reason why Rice was tasked with it is because Kulu's a big, strong boy. So you need a big, strong guy to be able to run alongside him.
Because he can ride past that first challenge. You're right, usually.
Yeah. He reminds me a lot of Chrissy Waddle. I don't know if you ever saw Chrissy Waddle play or you've seen highlights of him, but he's very like him. He's very robust. He's got that rolling action when he runs. and he's very exciting to watch. And you know what? When he gets a bit of speed up, he can bomb it down that wing. I was surprised that he was that fast, actually, because I've seen him in some games where he sort of stops, right, and he runs out of puff. But this game, he went full pelt down the wing. There was one run he done I was very impressed with. Yes, I was impressed with him. And obviously Højbjerg, he's my man, so he impresses me just as he walks off the pitch with his tats. I don't know if you saw, right? He came through the tunnel, right, and he went like that because he's a winner. He doesn't want to come off and we've lost, and we've lost a lot of games at home this season. So you know,
it was. I know what fist bump you're talking about, Ellie, but I would say if I read into the Højbjerg mentality a bit more, it was kind of like a, you know, it wasn't like a victory, you know, like it was like a, you know, more from here, you know, like, you know, power on from here kind of fist bump. You know, the job is still isn't done, you know, kind of fist bump.
It's like I've got that Declan Rice. I've got his number. I know where he lives. Do you imagine Højbjerg turning up at Declan Rice's pad? You're right, mate.
I think he'd be worried about what he would do. I'll be honest.
He won't invite him round for dinner, will he?
No, definitely not. William says, sorry, weather not great out here, so signal keeps coming and going, but thanks for having me on. Big up, Davey and Jack. William, I'll give you a call tomorrow at some stage, my man. Let's have a nice out catch up. Let's plan something for when you're home, my man. And delighted to see you. But William, shame that the weather has dropped, my man, because I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. But we'll catch you again, like I said. Your phone call tomorrow, man.
I always love William. He's brilliant, isn't he? Yeah. I like the way he says. I like the way he said about the PR people. They come out every time there's the heat on the club. They come out with their shithousery.
What did you make of his theory of Lewis's daughter taking over? Actually, too,
I know there's been a lot of that touted around. Even from the Enoch Outers, you know, they think that she's the one who's going to take over. And they're just waiting for her to go, you know, push Levy out because apparently she doesn't like him. So as long as she pushes him out, because I don't like him, I just don't like him as a person, you know. And what Steve Perriman said about him, nah, he's not my cup of tea. He wouldn't be on my Christmas card list. Just put it that way.
Rumors that maybe potentially, if there is a change in ownership, that he wants to stay. Do you think Levy could operate differently given different constraints? Because look, as much as people don't like Levy, and I can understand it to an extent.
Yeah,
you know, I'm pretty sure the orders that the way he runs the club comes from like Joe Lewis and stuff like that. If we had new owners and they said to him, "Look, go and spend what you want," would you trust Levy to be able to build what the fans want?
No, because I think he's got an accountant's head. And he always doesn't want to spend as much as he should do. You know, he's always putting his £5 worth in, isn't he? And spoiling a deal. You know, when we've been close to getting Jack Grealish. All right, Jack Grealish, you know, at that time, he was even better than he is now, you know. But the thing is, right, with him, I just feel that he doesn't want to progress us to that top level, you know, like it gets to a certain point. Even when Poch was there, it gets to a certain point and then he'll drop everything, you know, and it damages our chances of winning things. But do you know what? I'm still hopeful we can win something this year, boys. I'm really hoping because like I said before, I want to go down Tottenham High Road. I live in Enfield now, but Tottenham's just down the road, really. Right, so I want to go down there and celebrate with my brothers. My brother's like a star. Like we're a big family. Us, we were called the Loisus. Everybody knew us. Yeah, we're big Spurs fans from Beaconsfield Road in Tottenham. My brother John had trials with Tottenham as well. I played for Spurs ladies. You know, like we've got Spurs in our blood. And you know what? Literally. I cut my finger today and it bled blue. I'm telling you.
I hope it's making you nice dishes that you like to make. Hopefully it not to waste.
Yeah. Honestly, us Greeks, we like to eat. That's one good thing. So we need to get a cup in the trophy cabinet, because I go past White Hart Lane quite often, right? And I look in the trophy cabinet, and it's all like older trophies. Like we haven't got a nice, fresh, shiny one there. I would say they're all shiny, don't get me wrong, but we haven't got one fresh one, you know, so we can stick it to Arsenal as well.
Just be nice to point to a year, Ellie. Be able to point to 2023 or point to some year that, you know, we could just say, even if that wasn't the best season, there was a trophy in there and that was fun. And we all know, Ellie, too, or I don't know if I know this, but you know this better than I do. Sometimes a trophy brings fans together, and
it does. Sort of, well, you just celebrate, don't you? You have parties and you just get out of your head and like you just let
Greek
it all
food
go.
Comes out onto the streets and everybody's eating.
Oh my God. The last time I went to the FA Cup final with my brother Boo, 1991, he grabbed my head when Des Walker got that winner for us, and he was shaking my head. I thought I could get brain damage.
Sounds like it was Emerson and Romero there, you know, or Emerson and Richarlison.
You know what I mean? It's such an elation to win a trophy at Wembley. You know, when you win, I've never seen us win the league because I was born in 1962, so I've never seen us win the league. So it's not that I've missed that, but I miss winning the FA Cup because it's like the most glamorous, most romantic cup to win, and all the build up, you know, and when you go into the cup final and you want your players to turn up for it, you know, and we've always turned up for it. Even when we got beaten by Coventry in 1987, we played well. You know, we did turn up. The only final we didn't turn up for was the Champions League final. We just didn't turn up. You're right there, Dave. David's choking on his chips.
I think he wants. I wish I had some chips. Honestly, Ellie, I think he wishes.
Yeah,
he and I both wish we had some chips.
He swallowed something like I do.
But I love
sometimes.
Ellie that you told that story where your brother and yourself are like shaking each other.
Yeah,
and
he's
I don't know
shaking my head like he's grabbed my head right, literally, and he's shaking it like in euphoria that we've won. Because no, they weren't going to come back from that. And you know, in that game, like Naeem came on for Gaza. Right, and Naeem set up Paul Stewart for the equaliser, and even Gary Lineker missed the penalty in that final. I don't know if you remember. Well, you two are too young, aren't you? I think you was like little. Was you born in 1991? Probably not.
I was born in 1991, November.
You see, you brought a slack. My brother Boo, he was born in 1961, and we did the double that year. And then I was born in 1962. Right, and one of my brothers was 1951. My brother Lou, and we won the league that year. So my family, we're very lucky for Spurs. Yeah, just something I thought I'd drop in there.
Sure.
Yeah. Are you all right now, David? You've recovered?
I'm a bit better now. I don't know what happened. I didn't.
You sleep to chip.
I wish, Ellie.
That's what I'm saying, Ellie. I think we both wish we had some chips, honestly, right now. I'm getting a little hungry here.
Do you know what? I feel like making some now, but I better not. Got to watch the figure. Yeah.
Do you know what, Ellie? I'm trying to be good lately on the chips, but it's not.
It's hard.
It's hard, you know. I've got problems when it comes to chips. If you want me,
I know.
Look, there's worse things to have problems when it comes to. Chips
yeah.
Over me, but you know, just on what you were saying about, you know, it would be nice to have a parade. You know, it would be nice to have that celebration. It'd be nice for, you know, all the Spurs family and friends that I've met since I started. This would be nice to meet all them. But more importantly, you know, it'd be nice to have that moment with the Owl Lad as well. You know, it'd be one that we can both sort of enjoy. It'd be really nice. And
look, true.
Hopefully, it happens this year at the FA Cup. We'll wait and see. I'm not getting ahead of myself because when I get excited, I get let down, and then I get really angry. So I'm trying to be better when it comes to that. But Ellie,
I know
what your channel is all about, my dear.
Yeah, so I'm on 99 views at the moment. So I want to get to 100 views at least. So 99, one more view from somebody, right? So, and also the people that view your thing, they don't always subscribe. So please do subscribe to my channel. It's called Queen Ellie's Spurs Ladies channel at the moment, right? So I've just done one vlog at the moment, but I'm going to do my second one. I was going to do it today, but I thought I'll wait for tomorrow because I wanted to plan it a bit better. And also I want to do like a player profile on my favourite woman player, who's Ash Neville. I think she's marvellous, and I'm pushing for her on my Twitter account to be picked for England. I keep on posting things for her because she's a fabulous player. She's brilliant. She reminds me a bit like Højbjerg, right? Because she's all battling, all like getting in there, you know, she's always in the action. But some of the other players are letting us down. So hopefully they'll pick up on results because they've lost 8 now and they're third from bottom, actually. They're 9th out of 12 teams. And they had big aspirations this year, the Spurs ladies. We did. You know, and we've signed Beth England, who's been an improvement. But
she's not used to this type of territory.
No. And also they're not joining her in attack. They're not getting up there with her. So we've got to push forward more and as a unit, you know. Yeah. But I'm sure Rianne Skinner's going to work on that in the weeks to come and results will improve, I'm sure.
I hope so.
Come on, you Spurs ladies.
Look, you know what? I actually admire your passion for it. And I like that. You know, you actually want to get it out there, you know. You want to educate people on it. Maybe that don't know much about the women's game. You know, you want to sort of bring it to their attention. And you know what? I admire it, Ellie. So fair play to you.
Yeah, and everybody, this is Ellie's Spurs Ladies channel. So please, please, please do subscribe to this. This is a new channel, a new link. So take this one. You know, I know you guys head over to all the links, but this is one that I'm sure most of you haven't actually subscribed yet to. So please, please, please do subscribe
please.
To it, because I realized I haven't even subscribed to it even recently. So I'm pretty sure most of you haven't subscribed to it. So please, please, please do subscribe.
Thank you very much. Thank you, George. Thank you.
Good man, George.
Good man.
George making Ellie's night. George,
you know, our community, there's nothing like the Irish Hotspur community, you know. When we have our banter on the Irish Hotspur, it's always good. You know, sometimes we can get a little bit upset. Sometimes there's a bit choice words said, but it all comes together in the end. People do realise that they've made mistakes and they've said something out of turn and they back down. So, you know, your banter, the Irish Hotspur, is the best. It's the best, right? Nobody can beat it. Nobody.
Not sure about that, Ellie, but look,
it is.
We have a good time over here. We try to have
coming from the Queen's mouth, so it is the best. Come on. Right. The Irish Hotspur.
You got a lot of people who subbed Ellie, so I'm pretty sure you'll wake up tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
From the Irish Hotspur
you're all very nice to me. You know what I like about this community, right? We all stick together. We have our arguments and we come back and we get together. Nice one. Well done, Paddy.
Man, Paddy.
You know, and
there we are.
You guys take it easy. When we meet up at AC Milan, it's going to be epic. I can't wait. And I've got your shirts and I've got your training jacket as well. Because I've got you a training jacket because I know you've got a Højbjerg shirt already.
Yes.
So I'm not going to get you another Højbjerg shirt.
Thank you, Ellie. Well, Ellie, I have a curry waiting for you, so that's what I'm going to have waiting for you. I'm going to have a curry date.
I love a good curry.
You can't be running away from our curry date with Dave.
Ellie,
and
I.
You recommend the curry house, and we'll make sure we get there after the game.
Loads. Well, if we're going,
recommend a good one because I'll be honest, I do like a good curry.
Yeah, now,
I don't like spicy curry. I'm not opposed to going to a place that does spicy curries because I know the people might.
Yeah.
I'm a simple chicken korma guy, but if you can get a chicken korma right,
that's the one they don't. That's the one the Asian people don't call a curry, the korma. They say it's a creamy chicken.
You know,
anyway, it doesn't matter.
Logan Josh from Vindaloo's, and I'm sweating, and I'll just be sitting there happy out with my coconut korma.
We'll make sure we get you some chips with it as well.
Well, I mean, actually, if they don't sell chips, it's a no-go. I'd have to protest. No chips.
Yeah. You might have to just go across the street, carry them in. Yeah.
I'll just protest. Get chips.
That's it. No, they sometimes do chips at curry houses if you're lucky. They'll do steak as well sometimes if you're lucky.
They do. If Dave and I have been there, you know, after Dave and I have been there, they know to do chips after.
That's what happens. If you don't do chips, it's not a good curry house.
There's a nice one in Enfield called Mehek, which is a very nice one. And the owners, they're all like a family-run business. So they're really like nice. Where you get a big like conglomerate company, and they have, you know, it's not family run. And then there's Brick Lane down in East London, which is too near West Ham. Really, we don't want to go there.
I can't go down there. Yeah,
I used to work there.
They probably have wanted posters of me up there at this point. I troll them that much, so I can't go down there. We'll stick to the one near me.
Yeah.
My missus wants me home at the end of the week, so I'll be safer. But Ellie, big yourself
Thank
up,
you.
my dear. Pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for subbing me.
Call,
and
Ellie.
Come on, you Spurs, and in Conte we trust.
In Conte we trust.
Take care.
Well done,
Bye-bye. Bye-bye,
Yeah.
lads.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Great call.
There you are, guys. That is it wrapped up. Sean was sneaking in here at the end, but he's gone. He's tired. He's off to bed. So I'm William Kelly, of course, with the Weather Trouble. So that is it today. 4-hour fan show. So a lot of people wanted to come on and have their say. If you guys out there, any of you that are always in the comments, stuff like that, you want to come on and have your say next time, feel free. There's also memberships you can grab and stuff like that. So feel free to grab one of them. But look, for myself and Jack, that's it today. If you want to hear our opinion on the Spurs takeover stories not going away, you want to hear our opinion on Emerson, you want to hear our opinion on Asensio, the transfer rumours today, Evan Ferguson, who I'm well versed in, the Irish kid that Spurs are looking at, get over and check out the podcast we uploaded today. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing it as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the conversation in it as well. Leave your comments in underneath for myself and Jack to engage with. We'll see you all back here tomorrow at some stage. I'll be honest with you, it'll probably be a bit of an earlier stream tomorrow. Selfishly, I want to get off and watch the Champions League. So, for Tuesday and Wednesday, streams might be a little bit earlier. So hopefully you can all make it. We'll see you there. We'll see you back here tomorrow. As always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
In Conte
we trust. See you, everybody.
Everywhere we go.